Yo, it's your boy Rush. I'm in the building. Know what I mean? Promote my side hustle, Rush Enterprise. If you're in the state of New Jersey and you need armed guards and unarmed guards, just hit up my business line, which is 973-558-84. Hold up. Not 973-558-4659. That's my business line. You know what I mean? Hit me up. I'm the plug. You heard? I got a few special guests with me today. Now I mean, I got Sophisticated Jerk and my
Yeah,
boy Ja. Now I
That's
mean,
good.
and
yeah, yeah,
we gonna talk about this red pill movement or whatever. You know what I mean, is
yeah.
the red pill movement dead? What's your thoughts on this, man? Talk to me, man.
Uh,
I'll let y'all go first, man.
Go ahead.
Before I go ahead and jump into it.
Hmm.
So I'll go ahead and start. I'll kick it off.
Yeah,
My thoughts on the red pill movement. I personally don't like it. I don't care for it. I understand some of the principles, is like getting your, the growth aspect of it. But one thing I kind of been seeing with the whole like red pill stuff is a lot of those dudes are kind of harboring those like I say bad feelings and stuff, and they're carrying it on to like every aspect of their life and stuff. So instead of like, I think just looking at the data market, like, you know what, some people ain't gonna like me. I don't need to like harbor those feelings, and I need to move on and find the people that like me. They just sit there and they just like, fixate on that stuff. And,
yeah,
they start turning everything to the woman's fault. And it's like sometimes like they do have some issues, so we can't ignore that. But you
yeah,
got to self-reflect at some points and be like, hey, look, what can I do to improve myself and my interactions with women and get myself the best results? So I think they don't tend to look at self a lot, and they just steadily focus, but they make women everything about like their whole, I'll say, life, and stuff like that. So I think that's the biggest thing I could see from it. So yeah,
yeah,
I can't take part in it. It's too much whining for
yeah,
me, too much crying. So I don't know
yeah.
if I'm going in too much, but yeah.
No, I'm surprised to hear you talk like that. It's a refreshing change of pace for me because I see a lot of support for the red pill community, and I pretty much agree with everything you said. I see a lot of hateful opinions of women that seems like it stems from instability on their part. And what really turns me off about the red pill community, sometimes the manosphere, is that it also leads down a rabbit hole of right wing extremism, a lot of kind of unhinged conservative views linked to conspiracy theories. Um, I agree with what you're saying about blaming the women for a lot of things. They have one of the quotes I saw was 80% of women desire 20% of men, and that's like a big problem for these guys. And they make this community that becomes a surrogate father to a lot of impressionable young men. I think it's a problem, to be honest with you. I
Yeah,
don't
I
see
totally
too much
agree.
positive coming out of it.
Yeah, I mean, from what's going on now, the red pill do kind of look bad because some of the people that's the faces of it makes it look crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The just pearly things situation and all that. Now, I mean, she
Mm.
looking crazy out
What
here.
what is her situation? I don't know if I'm
But
up to speed on
like,
it.
yo, her like, everybody is calling her a grifter. I mean, that's not what I'm saying, but that's the word in these YouTube streets. And
Yeah.
you know, y'all know what a grifter is, though, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
I know what a
yeah.
Word,
I know.
like,
grifter
so
is.
pretty much she's feeding her consumers on the information that they want to hear, and and she's like a part of the red pill movement because I mean she has a red pill perspective on certain things that go on, the dynamics between the male and female, and yo, she out here looking kind of, I can't even front. She out here looking kind of crazy out here, you heard?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds reminiscent to Candace Owens because you're saying that she's a grifter, right? And Candace Owens, I think one of her podcasts is called Red Pill Black Woman or something like that.
I think so. I'm not.
Yeah,
Yeah, don't hold me on that, but yeah,
yeah, but
I know
I
what you're
think
Yeah.
talking
I
about.
think that's the same sentiment of somebody that's saying what people want to hear, cashing in on that,
There you
and
go.
she could be a scammer, flim flammer. We don't have any evidence of that, but she just gives me those vibes. It's giving it's giving grifter to me as well, sir.
Word, word. And now I can't front, yo. Some of the information that the red pill has for some of these heads, and do get them hip to the game on the mechanics of the dating scene,
That's
because there is
interesting.
a lot of cons.
Could you point to
You
some
know what I mean?
specific gems that you may have, you know, taken from the red pill community? I want to hear the positive side. I don't hear the things that you're talking about. Like,
Yeah, what's
Right.
the positives, Rush?
yeah,
Enlighten us.
Well, the good that it does for the males within the youth, it get them hip on the game, or not to get played, man. It kind of helps them to stay sucker free, because a lot of times these dudes, they take these chicks out. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? They just getting played as a pawn. You know what I mean? And it's not good to be used and abused like that, man. Come on, man. And the red pill does cover that, but I don't agree with everything with some of these heads that proclaim to be, you know what I mean, having like red pill awareness. But some of the stuff, it do get you hip to the game on staying sucker free out here, girl. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
I'm real big on staying sucker free out here, girl.
I mean, being a sucker means different things to different people. So I'm all
I like
about
where y'all
staying
going
sucker
with
free.
this.
Yeah, you know,
Word.
what is what do you mean by sucker? So we could, you know, try to nail
Like,
down.
okay, when you overly compensating the female and it's not being reciprocated, you know what I mean? Like, you constantly spending bread on her, you know what I mean? She don't care, you know what I mean? You constantly, taking her out on dates, but you never get the buns, you know what I mean? Sucking shit, you
But see,
know what
Rush,
I mean?
do we need a whole red pill movement to like load this? Because this is pretty much common sense. This is game.
Yeah,
This is
I
Yeah,
mean,
this is stuff
but
that's
you know what? I know it's common sense, but yo, a lot of dudes, it's not hip to this, man. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
are
that,
they
and
not hip?
think
Or they
about
just
it,
don't want
right?
to? They don't want
Think,
to
yo, think
play the
about this,
game.
right?
I
Think
think I
about
hear.
this,
Go
right?
ahead. I'm
Like,
hearing you out.
why is, like, the Fresh and Fit channel so popular? Just Pearly things. Like, these people got like over 1 million subs, man.
I have
And
a
they get.
theory.
All right, go ahead.
No,
Yeah,
you
we
asked the
got
question. I didn't know if you was asking like as a.
No, go ahead.
I think people are impressionable. They need something to believe in, and when, like you said, there are people who are looking for help on picking up women. People are going to seek things that they feel that they lack, and if they're espousing some things that kind of resonate with them, like women are really the problem. What's some of their stuff? Really complaining. Talking about what percentage of the rent should be paid, or if you're supposed to get the box after a dinner. The conversations that go on. I think that somebody who's kind of a little bit more naive, they could hear that stuff on the surface and be like, yeah, it sounds like it makes sense. But I'm just saying it goes to a really dark place. Once you get past the don't be going on too many dinners without getting some kind of reciprocation thing, that seems kind of innocent, but it gets darker. It gets into more misogyny, hate, conspiracy theories, and even darker than that. Trying
And
to keep you
overall,
paid.
just to
Go ahead.
piggyback off that, I
Yeah.
think it does like hit a place, man. And I
Yeah.
was breaking it down in one of our
Okay.
videos, and I was like, it's a trick movement if you kind of think about it, because
Yeah.
I think it does have some good points, but what ends up happening, I think them guys become socially awkward where they don't like be interacting with females. They're all like huddled up with other dudes all the time, building up this anger and stuff. And it's just like
Men
when they
going
try to
their
go out
own
there and
way.
start, oh, what's that?
Men going their
Well,
own way. I mean,
well, it's not,
I was like, man, what is that?
sophisticated jerk. It's not their fault, because within their social construct, everything's based on social media. That's how they converse amongst each other from all these dating apps, the Instagrams, Facebook, and etc. So they're not they're not conditioned to, you know what I mean, the quote unquote cold approach, and having some type of charisma to converse with other people in life, man. They're not conditioned to be like
But
that.
Rush,
So
man,
it's
the
really
other
not
day,
their fault, man.
nah, it is because you still got to step out and you got to align with like I said, who likes you? Because I seen a homeless dude with a chick yesterday. You telling me
Yeah,
he got he got charisma? A homeless cat?
yeah,
He
for
was walking
real,
around with a chick. So that's what I'm
for
saying, man.
real.
You can't really
And
use that as an excuse. You
and
if
you,
you a
and
nerdy dude,
Well,
go hit the
we
library.
can.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying it's the end all be all, but we have to factor that in too.
No,
But
that's
I'm
true.
not disagreeing what you're saying though. You're absolutely right, and this is going to transition to my next question.
okay.
Right now, the people that proclaim to be red pill, right, and they selling courses onto bagging chicks. Do you guys feel like these
Selling
guys are
course.
scammers? And if so, give me the breakdown on that. Talk to me. Let's
I,
expound on this.
Definitely a
I'm
scam.
I'm saying I'm skeptical of anybody selling a course online these days. Just off the rip, I'm going to look at that critically. There's a lot of self-help type of stuff going on, whether it be cryptocurrency or NFTs, or if you want to get involved in currency trading. And now we're talking about the red pill stuff. So I'm already thrown off when somebody says that. These are the new age preachers, if you ask me. You know, these red pill influencers that are going to sell courses on you getting women and stuff like that. I don't know what you mean. I don't know if it really meets the criteria for scams sometimes, but like if you point to an example like Andrew Tate, I think his thing was a scam where you share the videos or whatever. I don't know the exact recipe, but he had something going on there where he was franchising the misinformation and the signing up for courses to make money, and then you really don't make money. It's stuff that you could have learned on the internet without getting the course. It's not like they were learning anything profound.
Yeah, it's definitely a scam, man.
Okay.
I think it is because like if you really want to help some guys out, you should be preaching to them like, look, definitely go and get information from good, solid people. You shouldn't be paying for nothing, but you should be letting them know like, hey, you need to cut down your time on the internet. You need to be hitting that gym, and you go outside, man. You got to intermingle with females and stuff. It might be uncomfortable, but you need to be out there. You might get shot down 100 times, but hey, you gotta start moving along and stuff like that. So if you're sitting there, you keep on, kind of pulling people into your, like Ja was saying earlier, man, that darkness and stuff. And now you're charging them to like, oh, here's this course of how to pick up women. But the biggest part of that is like going out and interacting with them. Definitely is a scam,
And not for nothing, if any young people are watching this, the best thing you could do to get women is to work on being a better person. Like that's it. Maybe you should not start. You shouldn't start at focusing on these maneuvers or how to, trick somebody into bed or whatever it is they're trying to get across there. Why don't you look inward and start personalizing your goals and, change up your diet, work out, earn some money. I can't see you doing too bad with females once you got those pieces of the puzzle together, So, yeah.
Nah, then also, the people giving the courses, they're just, they practice, putting this stuff, making it sound good, but you don't never know their outcomes either. You don't know if they simping out here or they paying for stuff behind the scenes. Because I know a few of these red pill dudes got caught up in some scandals and stuff.
There's been some text message threads that leaked on your boys. I can't confirm or deny. You might know this a little bit more closer than I do, but wasn't there a big debacle with the Fresh and Fit guy that was paying somebody?
Yeah, there was a big scandal with that.
Yeah,
that came out.
Supposedly, like,
allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. Yeah, that's the key word.
Rush might be compromised. Those are homeboys,
Rush, these your peoples, man. Rush nervous. Hey, Rush over here sweating. What's good, Rush, man? You want us to fall back?
He could be a
no.
I don't know. I don't know.
Russ like shit. They going in.
Yeah, I mean that rumor has been circulating around, man. And some of these red pill cats, they kind of hypocritical type cats because one of the main things they preach about is not dating single mothers and dating single mothers and wifing them up.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
Everybody's breaking their little rule of the perfect woman that they want to get with. Like,
practice what you preach, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
You
What do
know?
you? Can I ask you something? You said I think that you were pointing out some positive aspects that could be involved in this whole manosphere thing. What do you think about the men's right activist movement? Do you think that there's a need for that? Like men are somehow
Yes,
being
and so
disenfranchised? Okay.
yes,
Uh,
and the reason why I say that is because the court system is very harsh towards men. I mean, um, like, listen, man. If a female has your first and last name and accuses you of participating into a non-consensual copulation situation, like, like it'll be set in stone, like it's official. They're gonna take a word for it. You know what I mean? They're gonna arrest you, gonna get booked. You know what I mean?
mm.
And then they're gonna ask questions later. And going
Well,
through those,
you're gonna get booked, but you would have to get found guilty by a jury of your peers and appear before a judge. They'd have to bring evidence before, like, right?
nah,
That's whoa.
like,
When where is that happening?
if you get accused of that, man, you getting booked, man.
You might get booked, but then you go to court. They have to present evidence
Oh
against
yeah,
you and
yeah, yeah,
convict
yeah,
you.
yeah. But
Okay.
see,
All right.
like there's no filter with that. You can hit first, and then
That's
and
like
then
that's like a lot
they're
of
gonna
stuff.
ask questions later. You
That's
know
like
what
a
I
lot
mean?
of that's like jaywalking, and you
Right.
could get
And,
arrested
and,
for
and
get raped in a pig, and then you gotta appear in court. If you're
right.
speeding, they're
But
gonna book you. I'm just saying. I'm trying
but
to.
not only
All
that,
right.
man, we gotta look at on divorce. The things dudes go through with the divorces or how they taking the L on that. Child support. I mean, the list goes on. Know what I mean?
Can I push
And it's
back on
like,
that?
these dudes is getting extorted,
Can I
man.
push back? You
You
said
can't
divorce.
say these dudes ain't getting extorted out here, man.
Hold on now. You said divorce and child support, right? You
Yeah.
realize for a long time in this country, women couldn't even get a divorce. It was like if you getting your ass kicked, you're getting raped. It's just like calling and saying
I mean,
somebody robbed their own house.
listen.
Like it wasn't. Wait, I
Obviously,
heard you out.
obviously, yeah.
I
Come
want to
on,
push
man.
back on
Like,
that. So the
I'm
divorce thing,
not. Yo,
I just
listen,
want to
listen,
push
listen.
back on that. So
I don't want to see a chick getting her ass whooped by her husband.
no, I'm
You know
not
what I
saying
mean?
that, but I'm just
Yeah.
pushing back that
So listen.
when you're saying that they got the upper hand on divorce, maybe the pendulum is swinging the other way. But I just want you to keep in mind, for a long time in this country, women couldn't even get a divorce if they wanted to. When
Yeah,
you
that's
talk about
facts.
the child support, is there not men out here skipping out on their responsibility to raise their kids? What recourse do women have to raise their kids? How is that good for the country if we have broken men coming from broken households? Like how is that going to work? Should there not be any mechanism in place to get them made whole again if somebody makes a child with them and just skates? Or are you against responsibilities? I'm asking
Listen.
you.
No. I see what you're saying, but it's not cut and dry like that, man. You know what I
I'm not
mean?
saying it's
You know
cut
what I'm
and dry.
saying?
It's very complex, but
So
Yeah.
so
I don't
Russ,
want to
you're
put
you're
all
you're
the
pretty
blame
much
on
saying
women.
like the prevention piece, like you're talking about the bad things that could happen in divorce, but don't
Right.
you think a lot of
Yo,
these
for
guys?
for example,
Oh, go ahead.
my bad to interject like that
No,
so
you good.
abruptly, but for example, right, I knew a dude, right, married, did the whole 9 years, you know what I mean, got a wife, kids, and all that, right?
Right.
Shit went left. He get a divorce. Nigga was living in his van for about 8 months. I'm talking about situations like that, man.
Yeah,
And it's
that's
like, yo,
anecdotal.
I don't think
Yeah.
that's cool, man.
That's
You know what I'm saying?
anecdotal. Yeah, it probably wasn't cool. I don't know, but that's anecdotal.
Yeah.
It's for that. I could bring up a situation right now where I have a friend who's living, happily ever after with his wife and kids and everything like that. I mean,
Right.
we all have our personal experiences in the sphere, but I just want to point out something to you. When we're talking about men being disenfranchised, I just want to put things in perspective. Women couldn't own a credit card until 1974 in this country. Women couldn't vote until 1820. And keep in mind, slaves got the right to vote at 1870, 1860 in some places. So women been kind of getting the short end of the stick for a long time. And I think that we have to be conscious that equality could feel like oppression when you're used to privilege. Don't be that guy, you know.
Good point.
Oh, yo, hold up. Let me shout out Manic real quick. Yo, salute to Manic for the $5 super chat, man. I appreciate that, man. Salute. Nah, man. But yeah, I mean, yo, listen, man. This world ain't perfect, man.
But
In
Russ,
this
I did
day
have a
and
question
time,
for you because
I go
I
ahead,
get what you're saying. Because honestly,
yeah,
you do got to move with caution. So I think that's part of the red pill. Like you do got to maneuver and be cautious of certain things. But what did you say that a lot of these guys, I would say, fixate on beauty and stuff, and they will go and select like a beautiful woman and ignore like the characteristics. Cause I see that a lot. Like dudes I'm talking with, I'm like, hey, she's showing them red flags, but man, she look good, so they'll jump into
yeah.
that. And then
You know what?
when they get hit, they'll blame the system and stuff. So
No. You right. You do got some dudes that move like that. Now I mean, but majority of the time, a dude will link up with a 4 or 5, man, and treat it like a dime. Now I mean, but it's just a small percentage dudes that seek just for aesthetics only. I mean, it's a small percentage of dudes that move like that. It's not the majority, but
And
I do see suckers
yeah,
do sucker shit like
keep
that
in
though.
mind
Yeah,
a
right.
4 or 5 on your scale could be a 9 on somebody else's scale when we're talking about what is available for you. You know what I'm saying? You might look at her and be like, compared to what I'm cracking out here, that's like a 5. Somebody else might see that and be like, yo, you serious? Like, that's bae. That's a
good
wife.
point.
What you mean? For real.
So Russ,
No, I mean,
you still never
Like
get married. That's what you're saying, Russ?
No, I'm saying you could treat a
yeah.
girl.
That's definitely. I'm not an advocate of marriage, man. I mean, I'm about staying sucker free out here. You heard? But I mean, listen, man. I think the nuclear family is an important thing. You know what I mean? Great countries is built off the nuclear family, man. Know what I mean? But
Yeah.
in today's day and age, on how everything is made up for the modern day man, it's not a W for us, man. So we gotta stay sucker free out here. You heard?
I don't know, man. Seems like men are doing pretty good at running the world. When
Yeah,
you
it's
look
not
at
all that bad, man.
yeah.
We straight, Russ.
I'm
Don't let me see
I'm
you with
not feeling that.
a single mother out here talking about, hey, she's the one.
No, I mean you might find out I smashed a single mother, but I ain't gonna be wiping her up, nigga.
Wow, what you got against single mother? What you said about my mama? What you said? No,
Hey, yo,
hold on, bro. What you?
like, come on,
No,
man.
come on. Clarify that. Like, explain to me what you got against single
No,
mothers out here.
I will explain.
Oh,
Go ahead, Russ.
My,
Break this down.
my
this ought to
next
be
question,
rich.
my next question will transition into this.
Okay.
Like, yo, most dudes that play the stepfather role they're not exalted for playing the stepfather role. Matter of fact, they have full responsibility and no authority in the crib when they're playing that kind of role. And I think that dudes that play as a stepfather are getting the short end of the stick when they involve them when they involve themselves with a single mother. Know what I mean?
Is it like that every time, Rush?
It's like that majority.
How do you know? How would you know?
Because I got friends, man. You know what I mean? And
But
they
so
talk about certain things. Right?
okay, but what I'm trying to say, isn't that an anecdotal experience? If we're really going to try to get the nature of how things are, shouldn't we refer to a bigger sample size than just the guys you know? I mean, if we're really trying to understand what's going on out here, I'll give you an example. You ever met a white person who says, racism, that's not a thing. I've never experienced that. And it's like, whoa, well, you're not from where I'm from going through what I'm going through. So anecdotal experiences could be different for different people. Is there a way that we could try to get something, concrete on that? Like math, is there a way to research that? How could we know that?
Yeah, Rush, you might only know like 5 people, man. So unless you know like 50 million people, man, we can't get a good sample size, bro.
I'll take 10,000.
I mean, listen. I get it. Listen. I get it. Your mom's still single mother and all that. But yo, you didn't have a
No,
stepfather in your life though. You
how
had
would
your
you know
father.
that? How would you know that? How would you
Cat, we
know
go
that?
way back, man. Don't play me, nigga.
I'm not
I
playing
know
you, sir.
you, nigga.
I'm
Like we
asking
go
you.
back for
Listen,
real.
I'm asking you simple questions like, how do you know things and anecdotal spirits? You're saying that I didn't have a stepfather in my life, and I'm telling you, you're wrong
You,
about that.
you,
As well as you
cat.
think you know
Oh
me,
man,
I had stepfathers in the household
cat,
at
man.
different
I was
times.
always at your crib.
No, you
What?
weren't. No,
I
you
was
weren't.
always at the crib.
No, you were
After we
not.
got them, hey, listen. After we got them recording at the studio, right? We
Mm-hmm.
go to your crib, we chill. Remember?
You were hanging out with my mom and my stepdad.
Your
You
moms
met
would
my
be
mom.
around, and from the times I listen,
Okay, I'm
from
gonna
the
hear you
times
out
I've
though.
been
I'm gonna
at
hear
your
you out.
crib, and I seen your moms, I've never seen a dude there. So I assumed that you didn't have a stepfather.
You
I mean,
assumed. Well, I'm happy to provide clarity because there seems to be some confusion on your part. What does that have to do with? Okay, if you believe that stepdads usually don't have authority in the household, even though they're assuming responsibilities, is that your position? Right?
no,
Is that,
no,
I'm just
that's
saying
not
that.
my. It's
I'm
not my
okay.
position.
I'm
But
just
I
trying
have
to
friends in those situations, and they vent to me. They vent to me.
Okay, but that's how you believe. Like that's how it goes in most situations for stepfathers. Correct? You believe that?
Yeah, man.
Okay,
Of
so stay
course.
there. Stay there. If you
Yeah.
believe that, can you tell me, even if it's in a hypothetical scenario, what evidence would change your mind about that?
Nothing.
Nothing would change your mind.
Nothing could change my
Oh,
mind
okay,
because
okay.
yeah,
Go ahead. Finish. Finish.
no, yeah, nothing would change my mind because
Oh,
you know what I mean.
okay,
He
great.
said it's
So
stone, man. I seen a lot,
great,
man.
great. So what we've just highlighted is you're not making decisions based on evidence or logic. You just believe what you believe, and it's set in stone, and nothing will change your mind. Not even evidence.
Oh, so what
That's a
evidence do you
dangerous
have?
place to
What
be
evidence
at.
do you have that would convince me being a stepfather is a great thing
I
to
wouldn't
be?
waste my time trying to give you evidence. I wanted to establish that early, so I
Okay.
won't even waste my energy. Nothing's
I
going to
mean,
change
yo,
your
you my
mind.
man. I'm open to listen to what you got to say.
Oh,
You know what I'm
now
Well,
now
saying?
here
well,
you
to be
Like,
go.
fair, man,
cause
I
you
would
my
say
boy.
I
Okay,
would say like if you're young and you don't have no
go ahead.
kids, then it makes sense. Like you won't want to start your own family and stuff. But I think after you hit a certain age, like that's the market you're going to be dealing with, and it's not the worst thing. Because like me personally, say like I was out there, I have a kid, so I'm gonna look for somebody that has a kid too. So I think that's how you got to line yourself up in that case. But I think like the problem I do have with the red pill, one of their talking points is, an older guy going to getting a younger chick. And then what guys don't understand is like them 25-year-olds, man, they want a dude that they attracted to. So they coming over there to clean your pockets out, man. So that's why I said it's like a trick philosophy, you know.
Well, I mean,
It's not always
from that perspective, I do agree with you on that. I
okay.
mean, because the only reason why a young chick will link up with an old head is to, you know what I
See,
mean, look to seek for that certain lifestyle.
Oh
You know what I
man,
mean,
y'all got a pessimistic outlook of the world, man. You don't think it's younger women out there that just prefer older dudes?
I mean, yeah,
Listen,
yeah.
listen.
But from
Go
what?
ahead.
Hold on. From
Go
what?
ahead.
Sophisticated jerk just mentioned about like a trick philosophy type joint. When they move like that, there is some validity to that. I mean, you got some old heads do trick on young chicks, man. I mean,
yeah.
it's a thing, you know.
Well, this is what I'm trying to say. We all need to be with somebody that we're compatible with. If I'm an older man who likes younger women, then I should meet a younger woman that is interested in dating a older man. If I'm a guy who wants to split the rent down the middle, I should just meet a woman that's down for that. Or should I be on the internet screaming trying to convince a woman that, you know what I'm saying, that I should pay all the bills? She'd be like, why would I even engage in that? Like I could just meet somebody that I like that likes me back. Isn't that, am I oversimplifying it?
No, I
So,
agree with you
you know
about
what I'm saying?
lining
Like
with
there's
what
I
you want.
people
mean,
out there like that.
yeah, I like the
And some
like.
people
I
don't
don't want
mind
to.
paying bills.
Yo, Cap, hold on, hold on,
Okay, go
Cap.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Nah, yo, I don't want to dismiss what sophisticated jerk said
Okay.
because there's some validity to that, and you're also right too about there's some younger women that seek older men, but there's a few attributes that they look for within that older man when they seeking that older head, like wisdom, you know what I mean?
Right.
Seeking great advice, You know, security. You know,
Okay, I
like
was waiting for you to say
all the
that.
above, man. That's what they
Yeah,
looking for when they seeking an older man. I mean,
yeah. What's
So
wrong with
you
that?
pretty much listed out resources.
yeah, pretty, yeah.
What's
And yo,
wrong? Like that's how the world works. Everything's reciprocal. If you
tricking,
think,
nigga. We call that shit tricking,
come
nigga.
on,
Yeah, that's it's tricky, man. It's
I don't mind what anybody wants to call it, but if you getting what you want, what's the problem? It's people out here who are in hot pursuit of a prostitute. They don't want to be tongue wrestling with the woman. They just want to pay a fee and they got it to spend. If that works out for them, it's fine. No harm, no foul. It's ethical in my book. It's a fair exchange. This is just two consenting adults making decisions. Now you could call the guy a trick if you want to, but he's winning. You might look at that as like, I would never pay that. And he's like, man, I wipe my ass with that. What you mean? Pay the rent? You think that bothers me? I make this to spend it. What you mean? Now I don't have the
Yeah, I mean,
resources
yeah,
to do
I
but
that.
mean,
what
I'm
but
gonna
I
wouldn't
find
you want
somebody
that same deal from a female, like, and you didn't have to do nothing, but you get
not
that desire, man. She's all
not
about you. And
not necessarily, because I might be the type of guy that likes a woman to kind of need me a little bit. I want to be useful. That there's guys out there like that. Like I want the next dude that try to holler at her, like, bro, I know that you're not ready for her. Like I already got her spoiled to the point where if you try to talk to her, you got to be taking her on vacations and paying her bills. So I know that you're not ready to do that. So she might
not at all.
venture off and come right back to the guy that she like that's doing that. That somebody can have that in their head. Now, I'll give you another example. Me, I'm not like that. So I'm not gonna meet a city girl and think that I'm gonna fall in love with her or try to like brain wrestle with her to try to see it my way. I'm gonna find somebody more closely suited to my interests and what I got going on.
Okay.
It could be a win-win for both parties, even if one's paying more or whatever. It happens.
Yeah, I just think it's the long-term outcome, man. When you deal with that type of stuff, like you said, I mean, if you're willing to do it, then hey, it ain't illegal. But I just think that sometimes it leads to a lot of bad outcomes when you're doing that.
It could.
Yeah.
It got the potential. I mean, I think any relationship got the potential to lead to a bad outcome, though, right?
Yeah, that's facts. So, Rush, what's your take on that, man? You recommend going younger? Is that what that's what you saying?
I mean, yeah. Like if you're well loved, we ain't got no real responsibilities. You should seek for a younger chick, man. I mean, and
Yeah.
I don't see nothing wrong with it, man. You know what I mean? And
well, let's clarify how young we're talking, just so nobody don't get confused.
mid-20s.
Yeah, mid-20s, man. We ain't on no weirdo shit up here. I feel you though. That's good though. John's right. We need to clarify that, man.
Not younger than like 25, man.
Yeah. Parameters. I like that, John. John saved us.
She's young enough and she's like mentally mature enough to deal with an old head. You know what I mean? Like nothing past 25, man.
What's an old head?
Me, nigga.
How old are you right now?
Huh?
How old are you right now?
You know my age, man. I'm 38, man.
Okay, so we just say, hey, that's interesting because I'm seeing somebody that's 26 right now, and I'm the same age as you. I'm gonna be 38 in August. I'm not a man of riches and wealth and stuff like that. I'm a regular guy. Okay. It happens. She's bad. You know what I'm saying? It happens.
No. I mean, listen, man.
It's bad ones that'll be with you while you on the air mattress because they just understand your story. Like it can happen. I'm telling you. I was folding them up with no furniture in the crib.
Hold on. Yo, salute to Manic again, man. $10 super chat. Well, $9.99. Salute. Appreciate the love. Word out. I got Philosophical in the building, man. Salute. Hey, yo, Philosophical, man. What your thoughts about this whole red pill movement, man? Talk to me, man. Do you think these niggas is bugging out here, man? Talk to me.
All right. First of all, peace to everybody on the panel. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? How y'all brothers doing?
Yeah.
I mean, I think people need to separate, a word that's trying to describe something and what that word is actually trying to describe. Red pill has nothing to do with men and women. It has nothing to do with some type of gender conflict. Red pill just simply means you're not a systematic thinker. The problem is a lot of our women have aligned themselves with systematic thinking. So to go against the system, by proxy, you end up going against the woman. But it's not, red pill really doesn't have anything to do with that. Now, there's a group of men that are overzealous, that have taken that word to make it mean what it means, but that doesn't mean that's what that word means. You know what I'm saying? Like, people get so caught up in these words. You know what I'm saying? It's like if somebody who don't know the difference between hip hop and trap and drill, and they just say, "Oh, it's just rap." Nah, it's not just rap. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, go ahead. Somebody was saying something.
Well, I just wanted to chime in on that. I was going to say that there is no clear definition to what red pill is, and it does get misconstrued a lot. But what I can say is the red pill reference does come from the movie The Matrix, and for a lot of people, it's about making a choice between learning something that could be unsettling or life-changing, or kind of just leading an ordinary existence. It comes from the Matrix. So like you said, like changing from a systematic thinking to another way of thinking. But just something to add in there, the creator of the Matrix actually said that whole thing was about a transgender allegory. So that's the real meaning of it. Just something
Who's
to
the
take
creator of
with
the
you.
Matrix?
So a woman named Lily Wachowski. She recently came out and said it. She so that's so the meaning has changed over time. I'm saying that to say this, it can mean different things to different people. It's
true, but unfortunately, that's not the person who made the Matrix. That's the person who plagiarized the Matrix and had bought the right to it. The Matrix comes from a book called The Third Eye, written by a Black woman named Sophia Stewart. She wrote a book.
Been debunked, but
I mean, I don't.
Okay.
I believe.
I'm gonna hear you.
You know
I'm
what I'm
here. I
saying?
didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
I believe she wrote the book. You know what I'm saying? It's called The Third Eye.
Okay.
The references in the movie alludes to talking about an original person. If you understand allegory, if you understand etymology, if you understand historical references, they don't necessarily have to say, "Hey, black man, I'm talking about you, black man," for them to be talking to you or referencing you. Okay. Because if you know where things come from and where most points of reference come from historically and culturally throughout all cultures, it comes from ancient indigenous cultures. It's been remixed, it's been plagiarized, it's been done, a lot of things has been done to it. But if you understand that reference, you will know that they're talking about you more often than not. You know what I'm saying? You're dealing with a people who learned everything from your ancestors. And I'm not saying that to brag and boast or some type of racial supremacy thing. It's just reality. Like right now, I have a job and it has nothing to do with necessarily a black person that got me the job. I work with people of other races, other cultures. That doesn't take nothing away from me by saying that. That's who was able to hire me and put me in a position to better myself at this moment and stage in my life. So once upon a time, we did that. And we created a system and a train of thought and thinking that civilized people that today now are in a certain type of a mental antagonistic psychological warfare type of thing going on with us. But historically, we did bring these people out of darkness into the marvelous light. So that's not my personal opinion. That just is what it is. So a lot of these films and a lot of these subtle references that's given out, they're definitely talking to you. You know what I'm saying? Now, whether people resonate with that or not, whether people still found value in themselves or not, whether people still found value in some type of nationalistic thought when it comes to their people or not, that's up for debate. Because people are so caught up in the wrong examples of messengers and they miss the message. So they'll meet someone who might come through the lens or through the door of some type of conscious thought or some type of intelligent thought that unifies people on a national level, and they might be caught up in a scandal, or they might go about it in the wrong way, and they become so overzealous that it turns people off from what they were trying to tell them. We have to get past that and really understand that, okay, why are people breaking their neck every so generation, every so 5 or 10 years or 20 years or so, to get our people to understand certain concepts. It's for a reason. But our people are so caught up in the cult of personality that they so heavenly till they know earthly good. They don't realize that, yo, we have to find some type of collective with each other right here. And it comes from study. It comes from knowing who you are. And our people just don't have the mental discipline to do that. So they just dismiss their culture and their right for some type of confidence in a nationalistic idea themselves. They just throw it all away. Just
can I ask who is our people?
I mean, so if I was Filipino and says I'm doing this, if I'm Manny Pacquiao, right, and he got a nigga say I'm fighting for my people, what would you think he talking about?
I would ask him. I don't.
Well, what would you just think if he just said that? Like, if he got a flag in the ring and he got on,
I'd probably assume he's talking to Filipino people. So I can't tell. I can't tell what people you're talking about. Manny Pacquiao,
what would the average person think?
I don't want to assume. I just want you to tell me who do you mean?
All right, well, what would you think, Rush? What would you think? Honestly, you don't have to agree with me.
I would assume you're speaking to melanated people.
What would you think, brother? Sophisticated?
Filipinos.
Okay, that's what I would think. I would think he's talking about Filipino people. That's what I would think. And that don't mean everybody feels like that. Obviously, 2 out of 4 people feel that way. You know what I'm saying? But 3 out of 4 at least associated him with some type of nativity to a land. You didn't do that. So at least 3 out of 4 immediately associate him with a specificity. Maybe not to the degree that me and Sophisticated Jerk did, but 3 out of 4 thought that way. So we could say that in this experiment, that most people would agree with that, correct?
But it wasn't a bad question what he asked, though, because what happened if we would
say 3 out of 4 of these people? That's all we could say. But I'm saying, what people are you talking about? Right? Like, you could just say, if you ask me, if I say my people, I'll give you a clear answer.
I'm just saying, is that correct? Am I lying?
But why are you evading the question? You said our people, our people. I'm saying, who is our people? What are you talking about?
I mean, well, we would say in today's time we would say our people are black people, right?
Which black people? There's black people in Africa. There's black people in America. There's black people in Central America. Like anybody who's black, anybody brown. Are you talking about that? Are we all united?
I guess people that will be so-called this Africoid features or Negro like whatever Africoid phenotype.
Okay.
Would that be considered your people? I mean, we're all yeah, like
I don't want to derail from the subject matter. Yeah. So this going to be my next question. Be the moderator. Yeah, moderator. You know what I mean? Hey, yo, Elisab, thank you for coming true, man. Yeah. I appreciate it. My next question is, right, why do you think Andrew Tate denounced him being a part of the Red Pill community? Is this a method to his madness? And I want to get everybody's perspective on that. Talk to me. And I want to start off with Black Ice. Black Ice, what's good?
What's going on, man? How you doing, man? How's everybody?
I'm high.
What's up,
man? Word out.
What up? All right, so I was still listening to what was going on before about the R people thing. I'm trying to figure it out myself. But back to the question, Andrew Tate. So I actually didn't even hear about that situation, so I gotta, get a little bit of feedback about what that was about, and then I'll share my thoughts on that.
Well, he pretty much says that anybody that's associated with the Red Pill movement has autism. They're stupid, and that they have no sense of accountability. Talk to me, man.
I agree.
I definitely. I'll let you chime in.
I mean, they're autistic. I mean, I wouldn't go that far, in my opinion. I would say people who do follow like the Red Pill movement, I would say they definitely have a unique way of thinking. I think that's like the more correct term.
Yeah, gentle.
Yeah, I would say that mentality has its positive points, and then it also has some points that could definitely be argued 100%. for the most part, I want to backtrack a little bit to what you guys were discussing earlier, like when it comes like to the court system, child support, et cetera, et cetera. I think being aware of some of the knowledge that's embedded within the red bill um, system could be beneficial to avoid certain situations like that. But then it also gets to the point where it's like, all right, you're like a red pill, but it's like to the point where you're like kind of, I don't want to say delusional, but delusional to the point where
That's a
you may
good
think
word.
that, like you may think that every single woman out here may be that way they describe in the red pill. Now I'm gonna say there's a lot. I ain't gonna say all. I'll say it's like, I'll say it's a lot out there that could fit that criteria of how they're described in the red pill. But I'll just say this. I think being aware of the red pill does have its benefits, but being like obsessed with the red pill, that's when you get on like the spectrum, in my opinion, if that makes sense.
Hey, yo,
But
black guys, let me interject real quick. I gotta say this. Shout out to Manic again with another $10
man ain't dropping that
super
Yeah.
bag.
chat. Yo, he was sponsored for the night,
Boy,
you heard?
cashing out, boy.
Salute.
Cashing out. You're real.
But can I chime in real quick?
Yeah,
Shout
go
out to
ahead, go
Black
ahead.
Ice,
Hey,
man.
go.
He was using the tact and all that, but I apologize right now because I'm gonna take it a little further.
Take on.
No doubt.
Them red pill dudes are losers, man. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
I gotta keep it real, man. They
Yeah.
incels. Is that the word?
Oh
That
yeah, we
too,
gotta
just-
get in that.
yeah, I hear that a lot too.
Involuntarily celibate. Sure for that.
That's what it.
means.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
a lot of people keep saying that, man. Like, yo, these, people that's, extremists with this red pill movement are incels. Do you
Well,
guys really believe that?
They're within
Yes, I do.
they're within that red pill community. There are people who are involuntarily celibate, and it's a real problem in our country. I've actually tried to think about ways that we could solve this problem, because a lot of times when you find people who are more susceptible to extremist views and stuff like that, when you read these manifestos of these mass shooters, they have a little tinge of that in there. That's like a common thing. And I think if you don't get enough, I'm just gonna say it in basic terms, if you're not getting enough pussy out here, if you're not getting enough social interactions with the opposite sex, it seems like that could be real negative for your mental health. And just to go back to what Andrew Tate said, I think he said people in the red pill community are autistic.
Yeah, he said they're
Autism doesn't mean stupid, and that just
I
shows
mean,
how.
in the sense of him explaining that, yeah, he's pretty much calling niggas stupid from the.
What
the
I'm
red pill
trying to say,
community.
that's
Yeah.
another example of Andrew Tate saying a lot of hateful stuff, a lot of stuff that's just not based in science, stuff that's just wrong. Autism doesn't really mean the same thing as stupid. He's a problematic dude. Every time he.
But John, have you heard these cats on these lives, man?
But you know what he's saying though, like real
You wanted
simple.
me to answer the question. I'm just saying the premise of it was a little messed up. Somebody needs to say.
No, it is messed up.
I
But
got a
I'm
cousin
just
with an autistic child.
listen.
Oh, okay. That's a good
I'm
point. Good
just
point. I
saying,
agree.
man, this is what he thinks about the red pill community, man. Know what I mean,
Yeah.
and I want to get the rest of y'all opinion on this, man. Like, philosophical? Do you feel that way? That dudes that's associated themselves with the red pill community are stupid and they don't hold themselves accountable for wrongdoings within their choices.
I mean, I think it's just extremists on all sides. It's extremists in the group, it's extremists critiquing the group. Like just 3 years ago, most brothers didn't have no problem being saying I'm red pill, and it wasn't demonized when it was really mainly a white concept. When it started becoming more black brothers speaking up, all of a sudden it became what it is now, and now it became easy to target it. So I know when people playing games, like every red pill, people just, like I said, people love to label stuff. And when you label things, you get so caught up in the label and not realize that it's nuance to things. It could be people that be a part of one congregation. Everybody not gonna act the same. That don't mean that what they are trying to get accomplished is the wrong thing. They just a certain heightened sense of life. Just like those men that call themselves red pill. I consider them. I think, like I said, I think red pill in my mind, red pill is just freeing your mind. It's just going away from what society tells you to think about who you are physically spiritually, mentally, on every level. It's just learning who you are for yourself and not just following things that are forced down your throat. Now, that concept will never die. You know what I'm saying? But the red pill is some people that's overzealous, but it's some people that are very learned, that are very intelligent, that hold their whole perspective about things are really not even centered around women at all. They're just talking about the systematic hurdles that are in front of men that prevent them from thriving and able to hold on to resources and really even open doors for young brothers like in the halls of academia. So I think that by him saying that, it's like people are just hearing men who are objective are red pill. And that's what people got to understand. People are not smart enough to understand nuance. They just want to label every man who just is objective and have a different view. Or you want them red pills. And red pills is what Andrew Tate said. They stupid and it's like, bro, it's the red pill, the community that made him who he was. Not saying they made him who he was because he was a boxer. He was already rich from that. I'm not saying it made him who he was. But as far as his trending, giving his information around was used by those same people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if I was Andrew Tate, I would have said the red pill community has a subculture within it that is very over the top. That it, you know what I'm saying? Because you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. That's what women do. So not to see men do that is funny. You know what I'm saying? It's like why are we doing that? We're smart enough to know that there's nuance to things. That's like when people do that to us, we don't like that. You know what I'm saying? There's nuance to it. You know what I mean? So I think when I think of red pill, I don't think of women. I just think of all things that are just trying to keep you blue or green to life. Women just
I hear what you say in philosophical. You got some good points, but I mean, when you, for the most part, if we like listen to it, and like you said, there's nuances to everything. But if the majority of the people that you hear and is bombarded and it's focused on women, let's be real, like, and it's just like, hey, how do I pick up chicks? Or they're more emotional than the women, then we're right to criticize that.
Listen to that. I don't know any dudes that listen to pickup guys. They might listen to guys that talk about social things and show you how socially, how they play games with us in the media or in ways that could affect us. I don't know too many guys that deal with the pickup. It's the internet. It's going to attract. You could look up fart contests if you want. You're going to find a community of people who like that shit. Like there's a community for everything on the internet. What you choose to focus on is what you choose to focus on. But this brother, while we focusing on that, people don't understand men like Tia Son Johnson, who's showing you through, you know, different aspects of this type of thinking. You know, it's just, I just think it's a lot of high propaganda. Like all of these guys are not, there's a community of guys like that, but it's not everybody. It's like saying that all the brothers are Pookies and Ray Rays. There's a community of that. But are we going to throw everybody out that's like that? Like, I just think it's just overused. I think people just being extremists on both sides.
Bad people on both sides.
You said what?
There's bad people on both sides, is what you're saying.
I said it's extremists on both sides. What's that supposed to be? Some type of Trump connection or something?
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of when you said that. Like it's bad people on both sides. It's a logical,
but I mean, it's true. The nucleus make things. It's never the negative and the positive. The negative and the positive creates the nucleus. So the power's in the nucleus. It's understanding the middle point. But like I said, we live in an extremist world where people are very extreme. They don't understand. They only understand their view. You know what I mean? I try to be fair and down in the middle. Like I don't have a problem meeting women, but I understand men who may have that problem. How they go about expressing it will make them have credibility on their point or not. I understand women who have the same problem with men. Like it's just people are people, man, and 10 people can go through the same thing and have 10 different responses. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's talking, but nobody's listening.
I mean, listen, yeah, I feel where you're coming from because yes, in both, what if you're a leftist feminist or a Democrat or whatever you proclaim to be a part of, there's an extreme. There is a certain percentage of extremists of all three parties. Know what I mean? And yeah, you're right about that, philosophical. I can see that. Know what I mean?
Who
John
are the heroes of the red pill community? Who could we look to as an example of what?
That's what I was
a
about to
real
ask.
red
With
pill
some
guy
good
is?
ones we can
I
listen
was gonna
to.
ask that too. Yeah, I wanted
You're,
to see
you're,
who,
you're, the
but
thing,
no.
but that's the thing.
Yo,
You shouldn't be looking for no
listen.
hero. You should be looking at yourself. I ain't looking for no hero. I'm not looking for nobody to lead me and take me nowhere. That's the problem.
I'm
That's,
just looking
I'm
for
not.
an example. I haven't seen an example of
But
this good red pill like
Who's the
community.
leader?
no,
Yeah, I haven't either. That's what I'm saying. This
Who's the
sounds
leader
good.
anywhere? Period. Right now, who's the
I
leader
see what
anywhere?
John's saying. Like he's pretty much, and I'm a paraphrase. You know what I mean? He's pretty much saying like who's a good representative for the red pill movement.
Yeah,
You know
like
what I mean?
Like who's not like a
It depends on what you
perception of
want
what
from
it
them.
Right,
is.
It depends on
right.
what advice you want from them. If I put like, I give you an example. I like certain people's opinion on certain topics. Like Kevin Samuels. I didn't agree with everything he talked about. I agreed with some things he talked about. And I went to him for that. I didn't go to him for that. I'm not gonna go to the mechanic to get my sink done. I know the difference. These goofy dudes on the internet don't know the difference. They don't know. They never had any interaction with women until this YouTube movement came out. I never had that problem. But that don't mean I don't understand what men go through. So I don't look for everything from everybody, but everybody does have some little nugget I might could take or that make sense.
That makes sense to me. It sounds like, chew the meat, spit the bone type of thing. Take what you like and,
because you ultimately are the leader of your life.
I respect that. So would you say that Andrew Tate is a guy that you respect, like in the red pill community?
When it comes to, I would respect him as far as accomplishments as a man. Yes.
Okay.
As far as his opinion on everything in life, no.
Well, are you opposed to the misogyny stuff? Like, his views on women?
I don't agree with everything, but he's still an example.
Hold on. That we ain't gonna say he's a misogynist individual.
That's his opinion.
Okay, let me point to a specific example, right? Look, because y'all shooting him a lot of bells, so I see that y'all defending him, but
because I don't disagree with you.
Y'all came with the smoke. That's what I'm talking about.
I just wanna point to a specific example. He was talking about using the lover boy method to convince girls to come to a house, and then when they get there, he tells them they're all his girlfriend and they gotta work and do sex stuff, and if they don't do it, he'll take their passport. Is there a problem with that?
I don't agree with. I think absolutely there's a problem with that, brother.
Okay, so we're on the same page. So
that's
allegedly. We don't know if that's a fact, though.
What I'm saying,
that's
allegedly.
Chill.
But what I'm saying is, what I can take from Andrew Tate is a person that has mastered a certain type of discipline in his life to get him to a certain place, whether it be physically, whether it be focused on mood chop. Like he's somebody that was a disciplined man as far as his personal goals. I'll take that from Andrew Tate and leave the rest. Men just have to learn how to do that.
Listen. I agree with some of
yourself. You're not building up them. You're building up you.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say this real quick. I agree with some of the stuff that Andrew Tate says, especially when he says if he's responsible for a female's well-being, he should have the authority to tell her what she can do and what she cannot do because he holds it down for good. You know what I mean? I feel him on that.
See, I'm not with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm with the autonomy, women's choice, individual rights crowd. That's where I'm at. No, you don't have the right to do none of that. Like, she's not an object. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't work like that. We don't live in that kind of society. But that's what I'm talking about. It'll be little stuff like that. It seems cool on the surface. You'll be like, oh, he's a disciplined guy who's accomplished, and he's talking some real stuff. And then all of a sudden you'll hear him say some shit like that. It's like, whoa.
But that don't take away from his accomplishments, though.
It does to me.
How?
It does to me. Like sometimes the bad can outweigh the good in a person, and I could just be like, this is not a good person. I'm a judge somebody, and I try to judge them fairly. Once you do something that's like kind of outside of my little Overton window, like you talking about, sex trafficking and sexual assault and things like that. I watch interviews with girls
obviously nobody in this panel condones that, man.
I'm not saying that you condone that, but I'm saying that's what turned me off to him.
Tips for finances or something like that. You wouldn't listen? Like if he had a financial
it became very clear to me that he's operating a pretty sizable grift. So I wouldn't let Andrew Tate tell me the time of day when it comes to anything with finances personally. But you know, if you take that and you don't deal with the misogyny and
like
stuff like that, it's just
I'm just being I'm saying like hypothetically, like I don't look to him for that. I'm just saying, say if he had like a workout regimen, like he had a video like, well, how to get abs or something, you don't think that's value? It may be superficial, but you don't
I
think
can be objective like that. I could say, you know, he's good at that. You know, Andrew Tate's workout regimen worked for me. Yeah, I could do that.
That's what I'm saying. I look at Andrew Tate as a physical example of discipline. That don't mean I need his advice on women. You know what I'm saying?
So does that fall into the red pill category stuff though?
To some people may think what we're doing right now is red pill. It depends on who asks. People goofy, bro. People.
Hey, yo, and let me just say this, man. Red pill is not just only about picking up women, man.
It's about a lot. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so it's a lot more than that, man. You know what I mean? And yo, man, like
it all leads to women. Stop playing.
So finances and all that, yo, there is a real red pill perspective on those two categories I just mentioned, man. You know what I mean? It's not just about picking up chicks.
It sounds like misogyny and patriarchy to me, though. Like it just sounds like y'all like it got remixed and they're putting different names on it, but it's still misogyny and patriarchy. A man being the guy in charge, women being in a certain place, and guys having the control. And then
how about
there's a difference between control and just being in the roles. Like a woman, I agree. A woman shouldn't be told what to do. A woman, if she's at the end of the day, regardless of what, she's a being.
Yo, let me say this real quick, and then Black Ice, you say what you gotta say. But let me just say this real quick. Like, if a dude's responsible for a female's well-being, like he's giving her provision, you know, making sure she's protected and all that, he should have somewhat of authority on telling her how she should move. You know what I mean? That's just how I feel. Especially if you're married to this individual. I think, yo, you should have some type of, you know, authority to tell her on how to move, man, because she don't know no better. You know what I mean? Now that's my perspective. You know what I mean? I'm not telling y'all to be like that.
I feel you. A woman who can't take instruction is headed for destruction. Am I right? Yeah. Is that what you saying?
Pretty much, yeah, man.
But I think you know what should be consensual. You know, with his name, he's really ensnared in scandals where people allege that he's holding people against their will and stuff like that. So
but that's not true, though. That's not true.
You're saying it's not true, but they're alleging that. That's all I said.
We're gonna get to that after Black Guy says what he got to say. Go ahead, Black Guy.
Okay, I was gonna say, Russ, I definitely understand what you're saying. I think you're talking about like security and like providing maybe for a woman. You're not talking about like, oh, you're abusing her like physically and things like that. I think he means more like,
never that, man. You're supposed to protect her. I mean, never that. Yeah.
I think he means more like providing for, protecting her in that aspect. I don't think it means like controlling her and be like, listen,
right,
sit down when I tell you to sit down
and all this.
Like
not to that extent, but to the extent where if I tell you to do something, yo, you should listen. Because I know best.
Like if I told you.
So Russ, you talk about more or less like leadership, structure, and guidance.
Right, leadership, structure, and guidance. Yes. In that perspective, yeah.
And like tune-ups as well. Like if she gets out of line, you can like is that
Nah, never that. You know, none of us on this channel is like that, man. Come on, man.
No, I mean, come on, man. If you look in Muslim sacred texts, there are directions on how you should discipline your woman, and they're going by that too. Andrew Tate is, from what I understand, he's a Muslim man, correct?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, he is Muslim.
Some of that stuff comes into play with the whole. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, sometimes it starts off as just dating advice, and then it gets dark. Is all I'm trying to say. Yeah. It'd be like that on the surface, but if you listen to these guys long enough, it gets weird. You know, having somebody that's a head of household decision maker.
To be real with you, I'm not gonna hold you right, man, because some of the stuff. The people that's proclaiming to be a part of the red pill community, they saying some crazy shit, right? I'm not even going to front. You know what I mean? But hold on. But red pill knowledge is not completely bad, man. It gets you hip to the game
I agree.
on
I agree.
everything, man. Not
Yeah.
just women. Know what I mean?
It's
And
just
I think we
Knowledge is
gotta
power,
be able
bro.
to,
Differentiate.
discern which is good information and bad
Yeah,
information from the
I
red
agree with
pill
that.
community, man. You know what I mean? Because all of it's not bad, bro. Know what I mean?
You definitely need to be aware. So some of that red pill knowledge is beneficial. So I definitely agree with that aspect of it. 100%.
Nah,
In
that's a
my
fact.
opinion.
That's a fact. Yeah.
Hey, prison could be beneficial.
Come on, man.
It can make you a better man, but there's better places you can learn that information from. You get me?
Right.
Right, right.
Yo, my next question, right? About red pill, right?
Okay.
Now, when it comes to red pill knowledge, right, and somebody's that's indoctrinated with blue pill ideology, right, and they bump into this red pill information, right? Sometimes it breaks their psyche and they transition into a red pill rage. Now, what's your thoughts on red pill rage? And give me your perspective on it. And I want to start with philosophical, man. Talk to me, man.
like that's the thing, man. Like these words, man. It's just irrational people doing irrational things. You know what I'm saying? In the name of whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like we can pick apart the bad aspect of everybody, but I guess red pill rage is just over the top. Just kill women. Let's have sex robots. It's just some weird. You know what I mean? Like just. I mean, people know what type of guys these are, man. It's like, they just got cameras and subscribers. Like, they just don't, no one's really listening. Like, people that really matter. Like, I don't know people that really are making things happen. Like, just really in the mix and really are in social environments. They don't know who these people are. And I think this is making it bigger than it is by people talking about these people that are really a niche that nobody really knows about. You know what I'm saying? The main people who talking, they have logical points. I mean, it's like they might get over the top with it sometimes, but most of them, the people that I thought was cool at certain moments, like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes, they curse a lot, but I get the point of what they saying. It's like, I don't listen to guys who would ever say something that's that extreme, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't really know who these guys are.
I'm
A lot
sorry.
of these people. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I didn't want to interrupt, but I wanted you to like name some guys who are cool on like
they have cool moments, like you know what I'm saying. They have cool moments. They say stuff that will make sense that I can understand. I may not understand all of them. Like Angry Man has said some things I agree with. Like I don't agree with everything he said all the time. But I agree with Angry Man maybe 70 to 80%. I may not agree with his delivery. I may not agree with his he may come off maybe he may come.
Yo, hold on. Let me ask you this. Like, is Angry Man a part of like the red pill movement? Or
I mean,
I don't think he'll label himself like that
the
though.
average person is going to associate with red
yeah.
pill.
No, I just want to get some clarity with that because I never viewed him as a red pill type dude. I mean, I view him as a genuine dude, but I never got the vibe that he's into that. I mean, but I
agree with
know
you.
though.
I'm saying to the average, to the layman.
Okay, yeah.
The average woman,
yeah.
the average person who just hears about this and hears about men talking on the internet, they just gonna lump it all in. You know what I'm saying? That's just what people do. That don't mean it's right. It's true or it's right. Like somebody can come on this panel right now and just listen to for about 4 minutes and be like, yeah, this is some red pill. And it's really not.
But
like they're trying to associate men with an opinion and men that's subjective, that men that may have some pushback on women's views. They're trying to say all of that's red pill. Y'all may not see it that way, but that's how I see it.
No, I feel what you're saying. That's why if you guys are more into the red pill community, this could be like a good opportunity to point to some of the more upstanding figures in that community. We mentioned Kevin Samuels, Andrew Tate. Who's somebody that's cool for somebody who might want to be trying to who doesn't want to go down the dark road? Like somebody that you could point to is like, you know what, this guy's all right.
To be honest, beloved, me personally, I would rather point people in the direction of like people who have niches in like things like history, finance, and things like that. I wouldn't necessarily point them in a red pill direction as far as I will use Red Pill as an example to show like, yo, other brothers been through what you've been through. So it's like more of a camaraderie thing. To me, I feel like the Red Pill thing is a private conversation that got public, and it got public because of the pressure from society. Because it's just cats talking in the barbershop. You know what I'm saying? It's just cats talking in the barbershop. Because when you talk in the barbershop, anything goes. You're gonna say some wild, crazy stuff that maybe if somebody else heard a different context, will take it out of context and run with it. These men are having private conversations publicly and not knowing how to gauge what they say, how they say it, when they say it. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. Like they reactionary. They basically acting like the girls. Oh yeah, they throwing dirt like the women instead of just keeping it like, all right, show you, all right. I'm gonna talk about this though. I know you may not like it, but I'm not gonna call you out your name. I'm just gonna talk about certain aspects but they getting with it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's just corny dudes doing corny stuff. Ain't nothing really changed. The truth is the truth though. Just because it's corny dude, because what they're gonna try to do is associate the critique of women with Red Pill. So when Red Pill go away, so does the critique. See, no, we're not doing that. You're gonna have conversations with real people who have real perspective in a respectful way and manner of conveying it to you. And we're not gonna dismiss that just because there's some weirdos out here. No, we ain't gonna do that. And I think that's what they're trying to do.
Word up, and you executed that so well, Stepfather. Appreciate your input. Now, yo, sophisticated jerk, I want to get your perspective on Red Pill Rage, man. Does it break the psyche of a blue pill nigga? Talk to me. Let's expound on this, you heard?
So Red Pill Rage, I wouldn't say it would break the psyche of somebody else. I think somebody that's just in a rage state is just going to only really impact themselves. So, you know, when I think of that, it's just them active shooter type people, you know, to be writing them manifestos and be having all the issues. That's what I kind of imagine when I hear that word rage, where it's just like, instead of like trying to tap into some other people that have like their stuff together and that have the results, kind of like what Philosophical is saying, like reach out to people around you that actually got outcomes that you might be able to work with. They kind of just harbor like all those feelings like we were saying earlier, and they just, you know, kind of flip out and detach because they're a little bit delusional with stuff. So that's what I would think. Yeah, blue pill. I think blue pill guys are honestly a lot of those dudes, just average everyday guys that's just like, look, I'm just gonna go out here and work and deal with what I deal with, and they just kind of operate a life, and you know they're labeled blue pill. So I am kind of sick of these labels too, because this is like I think everybody's slapping too many labels on them. It's just like, you know what, go live life and align with who you need to align with, you know. So that's why I think needs to happen. And but yeah, rage, I just think it's the people that go on their streams and stuff.
Where I feel you on that. I mean, I feel you on that, but there. I think when somebody's that's indoctrinated with the blue pill ideology that bumps into the information of red pill, they do develop red pill rage because of some of the knowledge that they might, some of the joints that they learn and they peep game on how some females move. They might develop rage towards that.
I think you're on to something. Like I think, I've never heard nobody describe themselves as a blue pill dude. But I think blue pill dudes is just regular dudes, and red pill people think that, you know, just being a regular person, you know, a reasonable person is a blue pill person. And I think that you can get regular reasonable people who could get turned out by the red pill rhetoric, and it blossoms, you know, it evolves into red pill rage, because as I said, it's linked to right-wing extremism, some conservative views, and a lot of times conspiracy theories that could really lead you down a dark path. If you think stuff like, say, you know, a Pizzagate is real, or there's some kind of agenda that wants to turn your kids gay, like that could even move you to hurt somebody.
Or it could just move you to say, that's interesting. Why does it have to lead you to hurt somebody? You could just notice that and observe it and look at your society and see that it definitely validates that thought and move accordingly. See, that's
and also,
everybody think that that's extremist. That's what you just said. I respect it, but it was extremist in itself because see, people think that information is defined by how they perceive it. I can read a book, you can read a book, and we get two different outcomes and two different responses to it. But that don't mean I'm right or you right. We got to look at reality and see what reality says. You don't got to be the smartest person or the most conspiracy theorist person to see a procession of social interference in the world. That's not a conspiracy. If you can't see a social progression of the change in
this
people,
sounds like it.
It's true. The government made up the word conspiracy to stop people from questioning the government. Right. That's not my opinion. That's true.
That's what I'm trying to.
But the point I'm trying to make is, I'm just saying, the point I'm trying to make is, you said that when people come across certain information, it'll make them hurt somebody. It might. It might not.
What I said, bro.
You just said that. Okay, I just want you to say certain information could end up making you hurt someone. I just want you to say that.
No, I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that. And I want to point to.
But I wasn't finished. I wasn't finished. I'm not trying to take over. I'm not. I swear I'm not. I just because I respect your opinion, bro. I like thinking. You're a thinker. I like thinkers. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, you could, just because you come across a train of thought and it turns you off, doesn't mean there's no validity to it. It might not be any validity to it, or it's aspects of it that's valid that don't sit well with your concept of reality at this current state in your life. That don't mean it's not valid. Yes. Because if you can't see that we went from just hanging in the field with our children, swinging in a whatever you call it, you know, the things between the two trees. What you call it?
Hammock.
We were sitting in a hammock. We went from chilling in the hammock to sipping tea and just playing frisbee. Then we went to throwing the ball. Then we went to riding the bike. Then we went to going to the lake. Then we went to going out skating, then partying. Then we started wearing pants. Then we started wearing tighter pants. And then we started wearing baggy pants. And then we started having tattoos. And social interests have changed throughout the years. Somebody is guiding what we read, what we digest literally and figuratively. That's not my opinion, whether we like it or not. The people that create media, the people that control media, that control information, oftentimes
who controls
are not
the media
people that have our best interests at heart. That's not my personal opinion. That's a fact. They're not considering us when they're making decisions that can affect the entire world. They're not thinking about the everyday person. So they're going to move the world in a direction that they want it to go. Where do they want it to go? You have to know who you're talking about and what they come from. If you study history, forget America. If you go back into history, the history that predated the one we on, you will understand that you're dealing with a certain people with a certain mindset, with a certain cultural interest, with a certain extremist view, that if they was to ever get in power, it would be just what you're seeing now. Like Europe and all that always lived this way. So now they're taking they're using the people that they're using us to thwart the world through their interest. They're using us to terraform the world to a place that's more comfortable for them, which is a place that accepts abnormality. Because we're natural people. So they're trying to use us to make the world abnormal. Because we have a natural influence on people. That's why they're getting us to be people liberal.
Because there's a gay agenda, right?
It's obvious.
Okay, great.
Show me somewhere. But it's true.
Okay.
I'm not saying gay people always lie, bro. I got gay people in my family that I love. I don't have a problem with that's your sexual preference. But it's still 1 + 1 is 2. It's still not our culture. We never ever embraced that fully in history. Did we have that in our culture? Of course. But was that something we endorsed and put at the front and saying this is what we are as a people throughout history? We never did that. We just never did. So the fact that we're doing it now, post-slavery, post-civil rights, post-crack, post-gangs, post-drugs, post all this social interference, I think is highly suspect. You don't have to think that, but I do.
Okay. Now, just to get back to where I was at, I was talking about conspiratorial thinking, right? And the two things that I brought up was Pizzagate and the gay agenda conspiracy. They want to turn your kids gay. They're trying to feminize the black man. I know all the talking points. All I'm trying to say is somebody showed up at that pizza shop where they thought the Pizzagate was going on. They showed up there with a gun. It was baloney. The gay agenda thing is another thing that I think is fake, but I hear this being repeated in the red pill community. That's why I think it's a problem. These things are not grounded in reality. I understand that we got
Bro, you mean
different
to tell me
perceptions
when
of
you go
things.
to
I don't.
they got drag queen story time? You think that's a conspiracy?
But let me just finish. Somebody wearing. Well, let me respond to you. Not finish what I was saying. I'll respond to that. Somebody wearing a dress. That's artistic expression, my brother. If they want to
What?
do that, it's not. Yes, it is.
Bruh,
I'm being honest with you, and I understand that a lot of people in the
Show
red
me,
pill.
okay, that's your preference. So
But
cool. That's cool. I'm
okay.
glad you said that because people
That's
need
my
to hear people
preference.
talk like that.
That's just
I'm glad you said that.
okay.
I'm glad it's
Okay.
on document. I'm glad it's on film. People need to hear you say that. I'm glad you
Yes.
said that. I want you to show me somewhere in culture that was pre-colonization where our people thought that wearing a man dressed in drag, because I said drag
Who is
queen.
our
I said,
people,
hold
bro?
on, bro. Hold on. I want you to show me a place previously to the atrocities of colonization and slavery where people that look like us anywhere in the world thought that men dressing like women in a sexual manner was art.
Okay, I want to respond to that. You said a lot. All right. I
I
don't
asked
want
you
to
a
get,
question.
but I'm just trying to respond. So I just need you to
It
give
was
me
a
the
very
floor like I
direct
gave it to
question.
you. I was letting you cook. I want to
It was
respond
a
to
very
you.
direct question.
All right, sir. I just think that the subject matter we're talking about, it could go a lot of different ways. So I want to try to talk about one thing at a time. Right. You started with
Bro, I asked you
what
a
were you
direct
saying? I
question,
got
bro. You
lost.
dancing, bro. I just asked
I'm
you
not
one
dancing.
question.
I'm getting confused
Just
because you're
answer the
going over
question.
the river, through the woods, into
No, I
grandma's house. I
asked
got
you one
confused. I'm trying to
question,
get.
bro.
Okay,
You're
what's the
doing it.
question? What's the question?
I'm gonna say it again.
Okay.
Show me somewhere because you said a man dressing like a woman is art.
It's
Talking about the
artistic
red pill is
expression in this
extreme.
country.
That was
That's what it's
very
deemed as.
extreme, brother. Brother,
That's
that
not
was
extreme,
more.
bro.
I ain't never heard nobody red pill say nothing more extreme than that.
Listen,
I'm sorry, that was extreme.
that's what I'm
You're
trying
a
to
man
say. But
talking
you
about
see how triggered you are. Like you can't even let me get a word
because
out
that.
because you're so triggered by that. The
I
red
just want
pill
you to
thing
answer the
would do
question.
that to you. But let me just
I'm
finish,
not
right?
triggered, bro.
Oh my
I'm
God,
just a
bro.
man. I don't think a
Listen,
man should wear
this is
dress.
what
I
I
don't think
want to
that's
say about
artistic
that, right?
expression
You
for
see how
drag
you can't even get a
drag
word in
queen.
when it comes to like people who subscribe to conspiracy theories, right? If you try to give them contradicting evidence of something, they'll say that the evidence is fake. If there's a lack of evidence, they'll say that the people who control the media, are hiding it from you. So they never get a chance to disabuse themselves of wrong thoughts. In this country, somebody wearing drag is artistic expression. It doesn't even have to be sexual. So my point to you is it's not a big deal. I don't care about it. But
So you don't
see
care if
how
somebody
triggered it
takes
like but I'm
children.
saying we're going too far off though. But I just wanted to point that out that there's a huge overlap when it comes to red pill thinking and conspiratorial thinking. That's where I'll rest with that. That's just saying the
When people are
respectful.
trying to find out about life, they might meet each other at the same places. That don't mean they have everything in common. If I'm trying to work out at the
You didn't
gym,
make that
I
point
might
at
see
all.
you at the boxing ring. You might be into something totally different, but we got similar interests. We trying to get to the same place. So I might see you at the gym. I might see you on board. So when people trying to understand who they are, they're trying to learn about life, they might meet at different at intersections of life at different trains of thought. They might stay there or they might evolve. It's like when people learn who they are. Some people get super militant. They learn about the Black Panther. They learn about colonization. So they become super. I'm black, y'all. I'm blackity black. They get over the top with it. But does that mean there's no relevance in knowing who you are? Does that mean there's no relevance in knowing where you came from? Does that mean there's no relevance in figuring out how things actually came to be able to intellectually articulate where you are in this epoch of time? No. So what I'm saying is a man in drag teaching children, having story time, not a doctor, not a lawyer,
He's not
not
gonna be able
a
to get
man
past
in
this.
drag. Where was this? If it was never, this was not a conversation 40 years ago. So the point, whether you think it's art or not, that's your prerogative. The point I'm trying to make is the fact that that's a conversation now.
Debating that
The
at
fact
all.
that that's even a conversation. The fact that that's happening at a school is proof of, if nothing else, a social change in America over the last 50 years since we've been enslaved, since colonization happened, since the total reforming of the world happened. The world has slowly changed in a certain direction. If you can't see that, that's on you. I don't know how far back in history you understand. I don't know how far back in history you study. So I don't know if you know what happened before. But I like to read. I don't read conspiracy theories. I read actual documented history books. I could read from one right now. So I don't like to be somebody that says this and says that. Says this. I'll give you a point of reference for yourself that you can actually refer for yourself. So so the burden of proof is on you now. It ain't got to be on me. So I just don't think that that's our culture. It never will be. And the fact that we even talking about it as 5 black men, we really have to take the time to talk about how a man wearing a dress is art shows you that we've fallen.
He's
very
stuck
far
on that.
Because that's crazy.
We don't have to even talk about that. But I'm just saying that it go. See how it goes? Like it gets to a place where it gets hateful. You get me? Like
I never said I hate anybody.
I'm just saying the whole red pill thing.
We're having good dialogue. I just think sometimes a lot of this does become, you know, I think these conversations do become distractions because it's just like at the end of the day, who's like going to teach their sons any of that? You know, my son's 21. He ain't doing none of that. You know, I'm a man all day. And, you know, I think sometimes where I do see some issues with the red pill and some of the philosophies, it's just like people got to detach a little bit.
Well, I mean, I do kind of feel where philosophical is coming from with this because, like, they're trying to, there is an agenda and they're trying to blur the lines between both genders. And I think that's bad. I think there should be a certain age where they should keep that away from the children's. Look at the books that they're dispersing right now. They kind of indoctrinating kids to move in a perverted way. You know what I mean?
What I want you guys to understand is when it comes to conservative talking points and ideas, that's a tactic that they use now. When they wanted to get the Black History AP class curriculum thrown out, they said they're trying to protect the kids. They don't want to raise hateful kids that's hating America. When they want to go at gay people back in the day, they used to say gay people are pedophiles and they're going to go after kids. So we need to protect the kids. When they want to discriminate against people,
there is some validity to that, though.
But I'm just finishing my thought.
Yeah, I mean,
I see where you're coming from, but
we can't
this
just
is a
dismiss that. But yeah,
this is a right-wing tactic. I want y'all to realize that they use that over and over again. We're protecting the kids, and it's just a way to kind of slip in a way to deny rights.
No, I mean, we do got to protect them, but I don't think we got to, operate out of fear either. You know what I'm saying? There's like a happy medium.
You see the extremism? It's everywhere, man.
I'm saying that.
Everywhere, man.
What I'm saying
listen, man, when it comes to the youth, man, I'm going to be extreme as much as possible.
What I'm trying to say is they'll teach you how to hate people under the guise of protecting the kids. And if you're not quick enough to catch it, they got you.
I think
so on the surface, it sounds like we're just protecting kids, but they're really turning you into hateful people.
So Rush, I want to go back to the other question you asked.
That's not.
I want to touch on the other question Rush asked.
All right, go ahead.
So the question you asked before was basically, can a blue pill dude become red pill? Was that correct? Like something along those lines.
Yeah, like when a dude that's indoctrinated with blue pill ideology and he discovers red pill.
Because I was thinking of something like I think I know where you was going. So like kind of like for example, let's say like if a dude he's living a certain lifestyle, right? And then something happens to him that makes him very, very upset. He could find the red pill knowledge and become like a savage. Either he could hurt himself, hurt his lady, hurt his children. What you talking about?
Right, and that's why
I wanted to pick up on that ASAP. I knew what you was talking about.
Yeah. That's why I say sometimes the psyche of the blue pill breaks because he discovers kind of knowledge. You know what I mean? Yeah. I want you to on that. I want your perspective on that. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think it definitely could break a dude because like he could. All right. So let me backtrack. I think most dudes back in the day, at least, they grew up. Raised to have a certain mindset when it came to the dating aspect, dealing with women, et cetera, the princess complex with women, the perfect. I don't want to generalize, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying women are bad, et cetera. But they grow up thinking that, you know, everybody's gonna be faithful 100% of the time, a certain lifestyle you may live, and then like the dude start growing up, he get in like a committed relationship with somebody, and then one day he realized like, yo, I'm getting cheated on. Who's this dude? She texting. Y'all heard she was out at the mall with this dude, and then like, you know, most of us probably familiar with Dragon Ball Z. Something just flip off in this guy's head. He become like a super crazed red pill. Like, oh man, I hate all women. You know, I can't do this no more. I'm gonna just end it all. Type of behavior. Like for example, I really don't want to touch the subject, but you know, I know we all know some popular red pill savages out there. You know what I'm saying? Where they found out something and then they start going along a route where it's like, you know what, I'm gonna take care of this. If I can't have her, you know, nobody will. And I think at that point, that's the point where it becomes like unhealthy and toxic. And I think we all touched on this earlier. Like it's good to know the knowledge behind the red pill, but when you start implementing it in a way where it starts to become like creepy, weird, obsessive, violent, that's when like there's a line, and that's when like the blue pill, it's like a culture shock. Like he's used to one way, so he's blue pill, and then he jumps to like not even past red pill stage 1. He goes already past like red pill stage like 25, if that makes sense. So I think in that aspect, yeah, I think that it could definitely make a blue pill dude go above and beyond, if that makes sense.
Let me ask y'all a question real quick. So did most like blue pill guys kind of just end up turning red, or was like the red pill guys originally blue pill? Is that how it?
That's a good question too.
Yeah. That's the dynamics of it. Because let me just say this with a quick, I guess, breakdown of it. Like a dude that's blue pill, you know, he grew up watching Disney and started
Yeah.
believing fairy tales that uh, majority of women can't do wrong, which is the
Mhm.
complete opposite. Majority of the females in the, you know what I mean, in the United States, you know, they for the streets. You know what I mean, you ain't hear from me, but yeah, they for the streets, right? So the dude that's blue pill, right? This is the stuff that he's indoctrinated with, you know, with the movies, even songs like music and stuff like that. Early 90s, there was a lot of sip music that came out there that got dudes conditioned to grow up to be suckers. Let's just keep it a buck, you know what I mean? But
Facts.
when they discovered the red pill knowledge and they realized all that all that is just, you know, the unicorn female is a fallacy, they go crazy. Like they get stuck in this red pill race because they just realized that, you know, they fell for the okie doke. Know what I mean?
I've been getting pussy for so long. I could just never see myself being somebody like that, bro. Like ever, though. Like, what world are you living in to where you think all women are perfect and you just are so like that?
See,
Somebody telling you they're not perfect, you just grab it. Like,
Cat.
I don't get that.
Yo, listen, Cat,
That's
listen.
weird.
Most dudes don't got that kind of experience, man.
Yeah.
Especially with the younger generation coming up. You know what I mean?
See,
Like
now I
they
kind of
not
see why
It's
what
a culture
Ilosophical
shock.
saying is. So like dudes that didn't have no bad experience, we can't see like. I guess that's why I was probably like, damn, you know, F the red pill and shit like that, because didn't have those type of experience. So I'm kind of biased to a certain degree. Y'all kind of might be biased too.
I mean, you
Okay.
always gonna have some dry
People are being
smells, but not
extremists.
enough to go
Extremists
crazy.
plus extremists equal extremists. It's extremists in it, and it's people critiquing it in an extremist manner. You know what the real enemy that they're teaching you to hate? It's not people that's of different sexual persuasion. They want you to hate objectivity so they can have everybody thinking in one way and in one box and everything is the same. They don't want people to be objective. They don't want people to look at things differently. They don't want people to question nothing. That's the
I
enemy.
agree.
That's what they want to defeat. Anybody that has their own mind, who's willing to look at things from a different perspective and put them all in one category. That's the true hate. That's the true target of everything that's going on. It's free thinking, objective people who deal with reason, backed by nature, with that's filtered through love. And people think because you can say something that you're hateful. No, everything don't have to be accepted. It don't have to be disrespected or hated or destroyed or killed. But everything doesn't have to be accepted. Like the president, when you go to court, they bring up cases that has some type of precedent as proof of why they have a valid claim today. So if we're gonna show me the precedent of where a society that we come from existed with these ills and thrived, where? We didn't never live like this. We never was into this type of stuff.
What evidence would change your mind of that?
No, what history
I'm
would change
asking.
your
No,
mind?
but I'm asking if I showed you evidence in a history book that this was going on in what do
In
you
a
want to say?
thriving
Africa.
society, well, it was endorsed and pushed. Not will
oh,
it existed. I'm not asking did it exist. We all
Okay.
know that people existed
Endorsed.
that did all types of stuff. I'm
Okay.
talking about a society where we locked arms and said, "This is love. We with this." I need to see that, not where it happened at, not where not don't show me two male dogs that like each other. I don't want to see none of that. I want to see a historical present of a civilization backed and endorsed by people look like us that push that agenda. I need to see that. You ain't gonna be able to show me that. Don't even try to do it. You ain't gonna be able to do it.
But I'm asking you that as an epistemic question. Is there any evidence that would change your mind? That's all I'm asking. If you're saying you're about being reasonable and about being objective, I'm asking you if I showed you.
If it fits the criteria that I just explained, yes. But it won't.
Fine.
It won't.
Of us. You saying it won't? You saying don't
show me right now. Show me right now. Because I can show you right now.
I didn't prepare to show you that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm prepared to show you what I got. I'm prepared right now. I'm ready right now.
I'm not really that conversation is like kind of boring to me. But
I know you're not.
This is the point I want to make, right? With the red pill community, right? It ends up being a lot of right wing stuff, and I think that's anti-intellectualism a lot of times. When I'm speaking from a place of, I like the stuff that you were saying, some of it, like epistemology, reason, logic. I'm gonna go by science, tested knowledge. So that's where I'm basing my opinion from. I
Man
really
and
don't
woman and
have
child. What's more scientific than that? That's science.
You keep going back to that, though. I'm just trying to say
science. You said science.
But the point I'm trying to make is the red pill movement slips in a lot of conservative values. The reason why, like, you're confused about that, I'll just address that because I don't want you to think I'm dancing. When it comes to sexuality, since you keep going back to that, I keep trying to veer away.
We please skip over that shit.
But let me just respond. Let me just respond because you kept asking me to respond. Sir. I just want to respond. When I base my opinion on how sexuality works, right? I'm basing it on science. Humans express sexuality on a spectrum. Animals do it too. There's over 500 different animal species where there's same-sex coupling. So you're saying that it's not natural. I'm saying that there's science behind it.
What's the majority
of natural? You know, I don't know what you mean by that.
What do the majority of animals do?
They're opposite sex. Majority.
So that's the majority.
Okay. Majority, correct.
Which means that's the norm. Right.
If you're going to say majority,
you
I don't know what you mean by
abnormality. What did I say earlier? See, I know what I'm talking about. What did I say earlier?
Listen,
I said they want to use our people. Hold on. I said they want to use our people to introduce the comfortability of abnormality. He want to focus on the abnormal aspects of life while ignoring the majority of normal aspects.
That's what I'm trying. I don't want to ignore anybody or all out. But listen, what I'm trying to tell you is I'm not trying to focus on abnormality or abnormality. All I'm trying to do is treat people like human beings. All I'm saying is if you want to love somebody, you shouldn't be denied rights.
Who said anything about hate?
Do you hear the words that I'm saying? I'm just saying people shouldn't be denied rights. That's all I'm talking about. And they slip a lot of right-wing talking points.
But that's cool. You got the right to do that. You can do what you want to do. But we're
on the same page. We agree.
But we don't agree because I don't think no drag queens need to be in front of little kids popping they behind. I don't think that's wrong.
Though. You don't have to do that. I
doing
make you do it.
But they
because they want to. Are they allowed to do it?
Children, but it's parents that don't.
Are they allowed to do that? So kids are going there by themselves, or are parents bringing them?
It's parents speaking out saying that they're not given a choice to allow it.
I've never heard of that. I've never heard of kids being kidnapped and being forced to watch drag.
I've never heard. Bro, you bringing up words I never said.
I'm asking you to describe. I'll ask you: are parents bringing their kids there, or are the kids going by themselves?
They're taking them to school. Yes. But they're not
about drag kings being in school. I've never heard of that. I've never heard of
Well,
it.
you ain't been paying attention because I see it all. It's all over. It's definitely in the schools. There's definitely schools where they're allowing.
It wasn't
this
at my
to happen.
school. I don't know where that's going on.
It's not mine, bro, but it's happening, bro.
I'm
And the
open
fact
to
that it's
having my
happening.
mind changed, but I've never seen it.
Okay, so but the fact that you've heard me say it.
I've heard people
You
say that
think
the Earth is
that's-
flat. I've heard people say that we never made it to the moon.
Bro, we got to deal with what I'm saying, bro. See, you're being an extremist right now.
I'm
You're
not
being
being
extreme.
an
You're
extremist.
accusing people of being
I don't
extremists,
want to
but that's what
distract
you
from
are.
this. I'm gonna let you.
That's what you're being. I ain't gonna call you that, but you're showing signs of that right now. You're being a little extremist, bro. I never said nothing about kidnapping. I never said nothing about hate. I never said nothing about flat Earth. It's just that since I'm questioning things, it reminds you of that.
No,
See how
you're
so
not making
dangerous
as good of a
extreme?
point as you think you're making, but I'm gonna let you cook, bro. I'm hearing
All
what
right,
you're
bro.
saying.
I'm
You know
trying
what
to
I'm
show
saying?
you how extremism is in all parties when it comes to
Mhm.
thought. You just associated me with things I've never said because it sounds familiar. Just like people are going to associate people with red pill based on things they said because it feels familiar. That's why I'm saying that people need to stop looking at things in a very
I'm not
extremist way. Some
associating.
people are extreme. Some people have logic behind their arguments. It's some people that come with logical arguments with an extreme mind. Look at the army. The army creates a lot of extremists. Are they going to shut down the army? People come out the army crazy every day. People that's coming out the army are blowing their heads off. Are they red pilled? Are they right wing extremists? No, this country is full of broken people, bro. So when they find information, sometimes they take it too far because the system is broken. Because we under a whole different people's mentality. So some people just got comfortable with some people could sit and doodle long enough to get comfortable, bro. It still stinks. So just because you're comfortable in this world and you think it's cool to be liberal and accept everything, everybody not gonna feel that, bro. Everybody not gonna feel comfortable in that. This country is a mess, bro. It's socially broken, so it's gonna produce a lot of broken people from all different walks of life. It's people that's Buddhist that's probably extremists. It's extremists in everything, but people need to listen to people's real gripe and focus on the issue at hand and dismiss the extremism, bro, because it's truth. And a lot of these people's talking points, it's just a lot of crazy people.
Hey, you think it's some good people in the KKK?
It might be. I don't know. It's possible.
It's probably
it
some
ain't
good
no
people.
good. If they kill, listen.
They not
my
all
thing is this: you
extremists,
don't gotta like me.
I'm just asking.
I'm just saying.
I don't. Good people in there.
In their community, they may not be good to me, but they good to their people.
Okay.
I'm not. They're not responsible for me. Right. They don't have to like me. They just don't have to stop me from living. I don't need everybody to like me. You have the right to not like somebody. But when you create but racism and prejudice is two different things. You ain't got to like nobody. But when you create a system that stops people from progressing, then that's something else. It's probably somebody good in the KKK that take care of their blood, take care of their family. They just don't like me as a person. That's their prerogative.
Okay, I don't want to stop people from doing stuff that when they're not hurting anybody. That's all I'm speaking out against. So just like you could say that, you can't point to any good people in the KKK. Could we agree on that? You don't know of any good. It looks like a pretty bad.
I think it's a horrible organization.
Okay,
but I'm sure there's somebody in it that's probably not as extreme as others. I agree with that. I
can agree with you on that. I think that there's probably some pretty all right red pill guys, but I'm just talking about the non-zero portion. That's all. I'm not saying everybody's like that.
But look at Bloods and Crips. You think it's some Bloods and Crips, even though they gangsters and they gotta do what they gotta do, and they definitely be harmed. They do gangster stuff. Do you think it's a Blood and Crip that may have a good heart, that may be decent, even though they known for violence?
Yeah, that's why I'm being objective. So we're on the same page now. You see, the whole time I'm asking you to point out some good red pill people so I can see a shining example of this positive red pill guys that are reasonable. And we didn't really get that far with that, but I'm open to it. I'm open to seeing the good people.
Because it's not about the people, it's about the message. It's not about who's being the example that we need to follow. It's about what train of thought.
If you ask me who do I listen to when it comes to science, who do I like when it comes to politics, so I could point out some people who I think are pretty all right. But it seems like it's hard.
I don't know too many.
Let's stick on the red pill though. Like, can you if this is something that you it feels like you believe in the red pill movement to some degree.
I think red pill just means information. I don't think it had nothing to do with just men and women. I don't limit it to that. I think it's just thinking freely for yourself. And I think there's a better way to what red pill really means. I don't think it means what they tell me it means. They told us hip hop is bad. Do that mean it's bad because they said it?
Right. No, I'm judging that for myself. When you say free thinking, I'm just trying to get a gauge for where you at. Is Kanye a free thinker? Kanye West?
At times. Sometimes he's a free thinker. Sometimes he just tripping.
Okay.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's fair. All right. That's cool.
I'm not going to just lump everybody.
My next question, right?
Moderate, man.
Russ fell back. Russ was like, "Look, I'm gonna let them cook."
My next question, right now, Fresh and Fit, they was expounding on the attributes of a high value male with Sneeko, right? And Sneeko gave Myron some pushback, saying that because they was using this for the premise of their show that if you're a high value dude, that you should get you should um you should get a vasectomy at the age of 25 and never get married. You know what I mean? And always live the lifestyle of a playboy. Now, I want to get your perspective on that. Do you think that is some good advice to put out to a young dude that's successful? Talk to me.
Hell no. 25 a vasectomy? Like, I definitely think you should move with precaution and stuff like that. Definitely be safe. But yeah,
let me explain to you why he said that. Why Myron said that is because dudes at that age, when they are not, they don't have a lot of experience with women. They tend to lock down the first female that they smash. You know what I mean? And his perspective on that is not to do that. She should get a vasectomy and live the playboy lifestyle. And I want to get everybody's opinion on that. You know what I
mean, okay. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I just think you got to have balance. Definitely, you need to get some interaction with females, go date and stuff, but you don't have to be extreme with it. Like, because I think they said, 50 females or something like that. They put a number to it. So it's just like, man, you don't got to be that reckless. Because
his philosophy on that is you got to smash at least 50 women before you wife up the right chick. You know what I mean? That's his philosophy on finding a good female. You know what I mean? Which
I definitely get some experience, but not probably 50. But you do need to have some interactions with some females and stuff. But the vasectomy part is like, nah, that's a little too big. That's extreme right there. Yeah,
real extreme. You know what I mean? John, what's your opinion on that, man? Talk to me, man.
Vasectomy, it's not for me. I might change my mind or something. It ain't for me right now.
Vasectomy, I'll say this. I mean, I think having a vasectomy at 25. Yeah, that may be a bit much. Like I said, I mean, like a sophisticated jerk. So I definitely agree with that. Like, I think he would need to explore a little bit. Definitely not rush into the first relationship he gets and get her pregnant, have a family, et cetera, because a lot of individuals do that sometimes. You may not even be in his situation, and then at that point, it's like they get into a relationship, and then they realize, man, I wasn't really ready for all this, and at that point, it's already too late. And when I say too late, I mean like the point where it's like he's already in that stage with the family, kids, et cetera, and now it's like, man, I wish I had took things a little bit more slower. I'm only 26 now. I already got 2 kids and et cetera, et cetera. So I think looking at it from that perspective, getting a vasectomy, I won't say get a vasectomy, but I definitely say like weigh his options, take things slow, and see what happens. If he meets the right person, cool. But don't be eager and basically like a pick me. I'll pick the first one I see, and then that's it. Like, nah, it ain't that deep. In my opinion, that's how I look at it.
Well, you're philosophical, man. What's your thoughts on that, man?
You on mute or stuff?
Say the question again.
All right, there was a show on Fresh and Fit. Sneeko gave Myron some pushback on getting a vasectomy and should have lived a lifestyle of a playboy. So
I mean, no, that's crazy. No, I wouldn't tell no brother to do that, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's extreme. But the difference between me, when I hear that, I'm gonna ask, why do they feel that? And they feel that way because that's how society is making a lot of men feel that they need to be. So are they wrong for going that far? Yes. But in some cases, it seems like society are pushing men that far, especially men who really grew up in a real cookie cutter type of understanding of life. They didn't know nothing else. Because if you really out here and you're dealing with women, life is about nuance. Ain't nothing just cut and dry. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to life. Now, nature and science is cut and dry to me. But when it comes to life and people and feelings and emotions and misconceptions, that gets real tricky. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like these guys just never really understood how women were. They thought if I just go to school, if I just get a job, work my butt off, with credit, and I should have everything that I ever dreamed of from a woman, and that's just not reality. You might get more women when you down. If you really sometimes, you know what I'm saying?
Hello.
So it's like but you got to be outside to know that. You got to really be dealing with women to know that the real women. If a woman like you, bro, she just like you, and she puts the stipulation on the guy she really don't like. So the fact that the guys are often in a position where they feel like their money is the thing that has to get her interest, bro, that's a telltale sign that she doesn't like you. You know what I'm saying? Because a woman, if she likes you, she might spend money. She might, it may not even be a conversation if she likes you that much. You know what I'm saying? So it's like these guys are just not really equipped with how to deal with women because they was misled by not a lot of times by their mother, a lot of times by their father. Like it's a lot of dads that's mad green, that's just providers, as if that's all a man is. That's the only thing he can bring or provide. Men can also provide a consciousness of a state of a way of thinking, an approach to life, a way of moving, how we move when we outside of this home that money can't buy. And these guys don't really understand that. That's why a lot of times sisters might gravitate to a dude in the street because, especially if you live in an area like where I'm from, like New York, tri-state area, North Jersey, all that. You have to learn a certain way of moving kind of quick. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you outside like that, you're gonna see. Go ahead. Somebody say something.
No, I just said facts. Like you cooking. That's all. You
know what I'm saying? So it's like you'll realize that what you know is gonna open doors for you. Not what you got. It's what you know and how you can articulate what you know. Not in all cases, because some stuff you just can't talk your way out of. But living in a high-paced metropolitan area, you're just gonna learn certain things that people be from these rural places. They just not gonna know, man. And especially if they from these places and they grew up in a real mom and dad, everything is great. Life, what America tells you it is, ain't what it is. You gotta be outside to know that shit. And a lot of people just don't know that. So they buy into the American dream and they get their feelings hurt. And they want to just spray up the whole world. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, it was never that cut and dry, bro. It was never like that. You have to really talk to people. You really have to have something about you that's interesting outside of your acquirements. And even in some cases, your achievements. Are you just an interesting person? It's just me and you in a Corona on a beach. What the fuck we about to talk about? And a lot of these cats ain't got nothing to talk about. And a lot of women are not in a position to even receive somebody who knows how to talk about something. But I digress.
Yeah.
Word up. That's a good answer, man. I appreciate those words of wisdom. Yo, Sophisticated Jerk, did you give your perspective on that, or?
Yeah, I gave mine, but I do like what Ilosophical was saying, but I think that's the message we need to be giving the guys, to be realistic with stuff. Because also, man, a lot of them are scared of rejection, and it's just like, hey, I don't give a damn if you have the best game out here, you gonna face some rejection. So it's like, man, go get rejected, you got to get over it. But I definitely like what he was saying, and I just think like sometimes the red pill focuses a little too much on, I say some of this like crazy stuff, but like Ilosophical said, it's like maybe we don't need to fixate on that, but it's given that reality of it where it's just like, hey, move on with the shit. Go figure out females, detach from like social media a little bit, get out there a little bit. So I like what he was saying though.
Because look at this, fellas. Look at it this way. They don't have a word to coin the sister thing. It's the sisterhood of Black Girl Magic. But who's on the wild goose chase for the streaming thoughts in their group? Ain't nobody talking about the women that's telling women to just stop having male sons and abort them. So it's like, I just think that they trying to just put us all in the box. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm afraid of. I just think they're just trying to make it's just objective thought. It's just, look at what toxic masculinity is now. It's just being a man that say, hey, baby, chill, relax. I don't think you should go out with these sisters. You trying to control? That's toxic masculinity now. With saying to a woman, "Hey, baby, how you doing? You looking nice today?" That's catcalling, and that's me. So People can make stuff what they want to make it, man. Like this cancel culture. I think the world is at its best when people still sharpen steel, man.
Yeah.
And when people are able to speak their mind freely, and even when people are able to bring valuable information and agree to disagree respectfully, the world becomes perfected. It's not that's not happening. It's just people saying, "Shut up, don't say nothing, leave everybody alone. Everybody can do what they want to do." And it's I don't think we headed to a good place.
Honestly, I think that you were cooking when you were talking just then, because that's my main problem with the red pill community in the conversations. I don't feel like we have a certain set of rules and standards that we're going by with good moderators. It seems like men kind of just barking on women. When I like see that content, I'll be scrolling down and it's like they're just trying to say something to demean them or anything. It don't seem like it's a real serious competition of ideas. So I just got really bored with it, you know.
I agree with that, brother, and I don't like that, because at the end of the day, you know what the problem is? People don't love our people, man. That's just like I love black people. You know what I'm saying? Despite our dysfunction, I love us, bro. I love our women. I love our children. I love us, bro. Do I like everything? No. Do I agree with everything? No. But I love us. I still have an affinity for our people. I still got a soft spot for our people. A lot of people, that soft spot is hard, bro. It's just hard. They don't have that love no more. They don't care no more. It's just every man for themselves. They forgot that it's a us. Like, even to a degree, like earlier, you said, who is our people? And I get that. But still, once upon a time, it was just like, it's us. It's our. But the fact that you even got to say that show you how messed up it is. Because sometimes my heart get hard sometimes. Sometimes I'll be like, man, I don't love everybody. I don't care about the community. But they crazy. I can't say these niggas. So I get it. But I always come back.
See me, I'm not gonna paint with a broad brush like that. I can't say I just like I can't say I like people or I don't like a people. You know what I'm saying? There's certain people I like, certain people I don't. When I was asking you about who our people is, it's a conversation right now. You might say our people, all black people, and be including Africans, you know what I'm saying? Or just talking about black people in America, or putting us all in like the same car, like we a monolith, when black people got different perspectives on different things. So when you say like our people, I don't know. There's some people who see black Americans as different as from Africans, and we are different. We're not a monolith.
We're all different as far as I think we all different, but we're all the same people. It's like right now, you got a family. Like my last name Hutchins. It's a lot of Hutchins. Do I agree with every Hutchins that look like that's my last name? No. Do I even hang with everybody that got my last name? No. Will I ever hang with some people with my last name? No. But they all are Hutchins. And that's where we got to get to. I don't have to look at the Europeans. Everybody else figured it out but us. You got Rome, you got Italy, you got France, you got the Netherlands, you got all that. But they are the European Union. They come together as an identity at some point. So I feel like we could still be a diaspora and still be one at the same time. I don't even want to say belief. From historically, I have a idea or inkling of how we can do that, but everybody might not agree. But I think we are one people. But that don't mean we got to have the same interests. That don't mean we got to have the same beliefs. That don't even think we got to like each other. But we like each other enough for the main issues.
Well, I'll be real. If we're gonna be in my opinion, if we're gonna be the same people, we gotta have common values. We gotta have the same. We gotta have the same goals. You know what I'm saying? We gotta
crawl before we walk. You're right. I agree.
We don't have the same values. How we the same people? You know what I'm saying? Like I agree. It gets tricky.
I agree, but so how do we remedy that?
So look, is Candace Owens my sister? Is that I don't.
You go to Candace Owens.
Is Ben Carson my brother? I don't know. It feels
put like this. She's a sister, but because you may not agree with her on everything to the point where you can personally build a bond with her, she's not your sister, but she's a sister. She is a sister, but she may not be your sister.
I wouldn't say my people.
She's still a sister. She's still a sister.
I say she's
so. If she got beat up, if she got messed up and beat up, on some crazy. I wouldn't think that's cool. I think that's messed up.
I don't condone acts of violence against people.
Everything the girl say
straight up and down. So I wouldn't want her to get beat up, even if we don't
everything
disagree.
She say ain't crazy. Everything she say not crazy. Just like everything, just put like this. It's people that's super pro black, super pro everything, and they gonna say something that you're gonna be like, oh, I don't agree with that.
Everything that the KKK say ain't crazy either, right? Sometimes they be making sense, right? Like they be cooking sometimes, right? The KKK,
you true.
Like, everything ain't. Just can we agree on that? Like, sometimes they be kind of like they be saying some real shit, like,
bro. But you go into the worst possible example. That's the worst possible example.
I'm saying Candace Owens is one of the worst. She's really. I thought of her.
She's the worst person out here.
She's one of the worst examples of a black woman to me. Like when people say, "Oh, like we're all the same people," I'm like, man. I look at people like Ben Carson. I look at people like Candace Owens, Herschel Walker. I'm like, man, I don't really feel like we the same people, you know. But I might be getting too far off track. You know, I don't want to disrupt the room.
This is what I find funny because I feel like when you're really about getting to the root of things, you don't be emotional. You can't get the truth with emotion. You just can't get to it.
True.
That's why when you listen to like, I listen to like a lot of people with metaphysical perspectives on life and that are very historically astute. Because people are so caught up in today, they don't know how shit got like today. That's why they so caught up in this shit. It's like trying to understand. I use this example a lot. It's like trying to understand a movie from this. You ain't gonna get it. You gonna come in and be like, "Yeah, I seen the movie." It said the director. I spread. That ain't even a movie, dog. You done wrote a whole paper off for the credits. You ain't even seen the movie. Most of us ain't seen the movie because we ain't got the patience to really read history. We think it's just some Hotep shit. Another word we done overuse. Oh, that's some Hotep shit. Oh, he's talking that black shit. Like we don't know nothing. We just be talking and we be emotional. So I put the emotion to the side. I just listen to what people are trying to convey, and I don't get caught up in the extras. And when you do that with people, you'll see that everybody's trying to find some type of solution the best way they know how. And you can, and if you're mature enough, there's a part of you that can be where you can find commonality in them. But we don't do that. Like, for example, you can understand.
You say we don't do that. Who is we? Like, what you mean?
What you mean? Say that again.
When you say we don't do that, who you mean? Who doesn't do that?
You don't do it. I'll give you an example. You just said that.
So me and you don't do that. Me and you don't do that. That's what you mean?
You found. I'm gonna tell you what I mean. Okay. You found some type of common bond or some type of understanding where you went out your way to justify homosexuality in animals.
He's triggering.
We gotta do it. Yeah, we gotta do it. We gotta do it.
Like he can't.
We gotta do it. No, like, it's not. It's the point. It's not about.
We are past it. You're stuck on it.
Hold on, bro. What we use to make a point is irrelevant. It's about the concept. That's why Jesus spoke in parables. It wasn't about the parables, it's about the concept. So I'm gonna use that to make a point. You went out your way to find the minority to validate something that nature in mass doesn't do. But you can't find a bit of truth in Candace Owens. That's an extreme view, my brother.
I never said I can't find a bit of truth.
You said, yo, I don't like women like that.
That's what you just did right there.
You just said they don't have nothing. You just said that.
But you both are kind of showing why we would never be like one monolith. You know, y'all both kind of showing it.
I didn't my feelings. I just deal with the truth. I just deal with what's real. Like the girls say some real shit. She may not look the best. She may look, the optics ain't the best because she's with white people and she's with Republicans. So it's like, it's optical don't look good. But what is she saying? Because there's a lot of people that hang with people that we like, and what they doing is like, that don't make no sense.
You like Candace Owens?
I like people who are willing to speak.
Just stand on it, bro. Like, if you ask me if I like
I'm not a fan. She just say stuff I agree with, and she say stuff I don't agree with. You say stuff I agree with.
I
You say stuff
understand
I
where
don't
you're
agree
coming
with.
from way better now. Like I was able to kind of like
Bro,
pull
you
it
put
out.
me in that. You could, hey, bro, you can put me in whatever category you want. I
I
don't
just
even
said
vote,
I
dog. I
understand
don't
you
even
where
care
you're
about
coming from
politics.
better. Like that's nothing. Did I say anything
It just makes
controversial there?
it just makes you comfortable enough to turn your mind off. Because now you think you know me. Oh, he's
my
one of
mind
those
is not
people.
turned off,
That's
brother.
not
I
what it
just
is,
said
bro.
I'm hearing you out and I understand where you're coming from better. That should
No,
be
you
a good
don't.
thing.
Because you think I just don't.
You just intent on like disagreeing. You're not even hearing what I'm saying.
Nah, bro, because you're trying to put me in a box like, oh, you're a conservative, Candace Owens, Trump supporter.
I didn't
Like,
use
I
those
know
words,
what
brother.
you're trying to say. I know what you're trying to say, but it's cool, bro.
You've
I just
expressed
deal
some
with truth.
views that you agree with, and it kind of paints a picture. I didn't put a name on it. I said I understand where you're coming from.
A picture of what?
You. Are we
What's
speaking
that?
to
A right wing conservative?
I didn't use those
Like
words.
that's what I'm saying. Like
I didn't use those words.
Malcolm X warned us about the Democrats. He ain't say shit about the Republicans. He said a whole lot about the Democrats. I don't vote either party, but I know who and who ain't.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Hey, we're learning.
Malcolm X said, "Watch out for them liberals." That's what Malcolm
All right, yo, we hit the 2-hour mark, man. You know what I mean? I want to get his final thoughts before we.
Yeah. My
So-
final thought.
Go ahead. Say your final thoughts.
It sounded like you were wrapping up. I want to give my final thoughts. I just want to say, man, I'm open to having my mind change, and I like having a calm competition of ideas. You know, my feelings ain't in it. I like this kind of exchange. So respect to you, philosophical,
I like you,
sophisticated journalist.
I like you, bro.
Yeah,
I like you. Like
the
when I start doing
mutual.
my panels, everybody up here is more than welcome, bro.
Damn right.
I don't need people to agree with everything I agree with. I like because when you speaking from intelligence, it ain't no personal attacks. Like we ain't gotta agree, but I think I could definitely put you up on some different things. You make a shape, change, because we all one people, brother. Trust and believe.
I disagree with that, but I'm gonna say this in closing.
Rush, you need to set up the community debate. We need to.
This ain't about anybody personally. Like I'm not taking a personal shot at anybody. I just want to close with some words before I go because I got.
Oh, no doubt. Go ahead.
Engagement. Never play chess with a pigeon. A pigeon just knocks all the pieces over, then shits all over the board, and then struts around like it won. Peace.
Damn, that was kind of deep.
You know what I'm saying? That's cool.
All right, we'll go with philosophical. Last thoughts, man.
Man, just read, man. Just everybody out there at YouTube land, read. You know what I'm saying? Then read again. You know what I'm saying? Don't get caught up in what I'm talking about. Don't get caught up with anybody's talking about. Listen to what makes sense and just see if there's some validity to it. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody has so many beliefs, but there's a precedence for living. There's a precedence for culture. There's a precedence for civilization to some degree when it comes to our people. If you just have the patience to want to read, there's places you can go. There's trains of thoughts that will lead you to some type of remedy for how things got. And you don't have to accept everything that's out here today. Just because you agree with a point somebody made from a certain group, don't mean you belong to that group. Just because you disagree with something that is a part of one group, don't mean you hate that group. You have the right to think how you want to think as long as you respectfully treat people decently and don't call people out their name. You don't have to go with the rhetoric that's out here. And it doesn't mean you hate anything. Doesn't mean you are a red pill. It just means you just have your own brain. And people are going to use a lot of words to convince you to be scared to think. But please don't stop thinking, y'all.
Word, I appreciate the words of wisdom, young king. We definitely gotta do this again. So, philosophical man, hit me on the jack. You know what I mean? Keep in touch, you heard?
I got you.
I'm definitely gonna follow you as philosophical, man. I like what you were saying and stuff, but no, I think it was a good conversation, man. Nobody was emotional, and I think that's what I like. And thanks for putting that on, Rush, bringing everybody together. I think we do need more of these conversations and stuff. I'm still against the red pill, but I'm gonna be more open minded. I learned a little bit, so still got a little pushback for it. They be whining too much, but y'all might be winning me over a little bit. But great conversation, man. Rush, keep doing your thing, man.
Word, I appreciate it, man. Thank you guys so much for coming through, man. I appreciate y'all so much. Definitely keep in touch. We're gonna do another collabo like this, man. Most def. Yo, the show's officially over, everybody. My last words is seek wisdom, practice humility, and always remain sucker free. You heard? I'm out. One.
Peace.